Hello guys, welcome to another video. Did I really just want to spin? Yes. Yes, I did. We have a slightly different setup because over on my vlog channel, if you missed it, I'll throw it up in the cards, we finally finished the office makeover. The office is split into two parts. On this side, I have my vanity, my makeup, and my YouTube setup. On that side of the office, I have my work from home setup. It was a whole lot of work to build. We got most of it from IKEA, but it came out so beautiful. So check out that vlog if you want to see it. But we have a lot of work still to do on this side of the office. So we finally got our Alex 9 drawers delivered, so I can now live out my 2016 Beauty Guru dreams with this vanity, where we have two tall Alex 9 drawers, two Alex 5 drawers, and then my vanity top. And what we're going to do today is declutter my entire makeup collection, because since I got these new Alex 9 drawers, I want to reorganize everything, but it made no sense to do that before decluttering. So I need to go ahead and declutter my whole makeup collection, and then I can go through and reorganize everything. This video is just going to be to declutter for each section of my makeup collection. I'm going to show you how it currently sits in the drawer, so I can also have the footage for the reorganization. I'm going to show you how it's in the drawer, and then we're going to come out and on my tabletop we're going to declutter piece by piece. Hopefully we can get quite a few of these kind of older products that are really not speaking to me, out of my collection. And then in a separate video we're going to go through and reorganize all of this. So let me go ahead and pull you down and we'll show you where we're starting. And that battery is already dead. How the hell? So this is the current setup on the vanity side. Over here we have an Alex 9 drawer that is mostly empty since we just got that one. We have my Alex 5 drawers that are most of my makeup collection, and they are kind of bulging with makeup, so we really need to go through there. We have my tabletop, my desktop with my iMac, and then we have the other Alex 9 drawer. And just for a quick review, I've got like some dirty brushes up here I need to clean. Back here we have most of my eyeshadow palette collection, and this is the backdrop for my videos. And then over here I've got like some notebooks, some books about beauty, some journals, my perfume collection, and then down here I've got my smaller eyeshadow palettes, some extra brushes, all the palettes I have panned in here, and then some other big eyeshadow palettes that are weirdly shaped so they don't store up here quite as nicely. So let's go ahead and get this declutter started. Alrighty, let's get this declutter started with setting sprays. And I gotta be honest, I don't think I'm getting rid of any of these. I did just recently stock up on Fix Plus in particular because of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale that just happened, and they were half off, so I'm not getting rid of those. I do have two of the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I literally bought these off of I bought these off of Poshmark because I really missed it. There's like something particular about the scent of these. I don't know how to describe the scent, to be quite honest. It's like one of those weird no scent scents. But I really missed it. I was really nostalgic for it, so I bought two of these, but I know they did discontinue this product and they came out with this one instead. This is the Revitalized Photo Finish 8-in-1 Primer Essence, and I've tried it already and it doesn't smell the same. Yeah, it just doesn't. So I haven't actually tried it as a primer yet, so I want to keep those. I got the Fix Pluses. This I would declutter because I keep forgetting, like I keep wanting to go back and I want to like this. I hate the all-nighter setting spray, but it's almost empty, so I'm just going to finish that up. Next, we have the setting spray I really do like, which is the Scandinavia makeup setting spray, which is so interesting because I heard at one point that basically it was the same formula as the Urban Decay All Nighter, except they made it for Urban Decay, so this was a higher markup than this one. But to me, I can tell the difference. Like, there's a huge difference to me in like wear time on my face with the two different products, so I have no idea. But like this one, and then this is my Fix Plus that's currently open. A little bit excessive, but I like stocking up when there's a sale. And I set my makeup with setting spray every single day. So these will probably last me at least a year, but I do like stocking up when I can find a deal. All right, next we have primers. And again, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a boring section because I had a really small primer collection for a long time. I only recently started buying more primers, and you'll see those here. I just picked up the brand new AOA Studio pore filling primer that I really like, and I do think it's totally a dupe for the Porefessional, but this one's $1. So I will probably make a short about that, but I do want to keep these in order to compare all of those, so we're going to keep those. You know, that's a lie. I feel like I can get rid of one of these. I do love the e.l.f. putty primers. I picked up the Sea Bright putty primer, and it's just not as good as the other ones. And when you've got an acne one and the regular one, that's just so good. I don't need to hang on to just a meh product. So this one I can actually get rid of. These two I'm going to keep. I absolutely love these two pieces. Next, these are both brand new purchases for me. I have to say, I really like the Thorn Oil. This one I got just because Teresa is Dead kept talking about how much she loved it, and I'm kind of shocked at how much I like it. I don't like that it does like this settling in the bottle. Like I just have it laying on its side, and I don't know if I'm like losing product that way. So I might just like take this out and sit it up to see if that comes off, because it has not come off since it settled there. So I don't know about that. But I also just picked up the KVD Lock Pore Refining Primer. I think this is also new, but I was really low on silicone-based primers for a long time, so I just went out and I kind of bought a bunch, if you couldn't already tell. Can you just look at how like janky the Charlotte Tilbury packaging looks like after, I want to say, a year or two of owning it? It just completely comes right off. And that's not me scraping at it. This is just like regular use, and it's totally off. So this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter, and honestly, I do think it is very overhyped. It looks really pretty, yes, but e.l.f. Totally duped it. So I don't think anyone needs this, and the e.l.f. packaging is even actually a tiny bit nicer in my opinion. But overall, yeah, this is a dud. And you know, if it's a dud, then why am I keeping it? If I don't like it, I kind of want to, I kind of want to pan it, you know? But I'm not going to use it enough to pan it. I'm decluttering this. I'm getting rid of the Charlotte Tilbury. It's finally time. I've got the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I really legitimately don't need it. Yeah, that was a nasty noise, but we're going to keep this one and declutter that one. This one, I think it's an okay primer, but honestly, it was way overpriced, and it's just like, okay, like I said, this is the YSL Touche Eclat Blur Primer, and this is one of those products where I swear to God, I tried a sample, and the sample was a bajillion times better than this full-size product. I don't know what they're doing with these samples, but I don't know, duped me into getting it. But I'm so close to being done. If you see, it's like only up to here. Like, I just really want to finish it and move it along, so I'm going to do that. Next, this one is actually a BB cream, but I use it like a primer, so I keep it with my primers. It just, oh, that looks nasty. Excuse me for not cleaning it, but it just smells really good, and for me, it's a really great primer. For an actual BB cream, it didn't, like, if I don't put a foundation on top of this, it kind of can look splotchy, and it's not great, but it's got SPF in it, and I liked the smell, and I liked the way it felt on my skin, so I started using it as a primer instead, and I actually really enjoy it as a primer. And this one's also almost gone. I think it's only down to, like, here, so I'd also want to finish this one up. This was another new purchase. This is another, like, nostalgic purchase for me, because I haven't tried this in years, and I really wanted to pick it up. So this is the Hangover RX Primer from Too Faced. Last but not least, we have the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This was also another new purchase for me a couple of months ago. I've been using it, and I've really enjoyed it. I mentioned this on, how many years ago now? It was on a BWOW, which was my bi-weekly wishlist or washout series, if you guys remember that. And I mentioned really wanting to try it, and I haven't tried it until recently. So I gotta say, I really like it. I do think it's a little pricey, but I do really enjoy the primer. So I'm gonna hold on to this one. So out of 14 primers, I decluttered 2. Okay, so foundations were actually the impetus behind this declutter, because this isn't even all my foundations. I have another like half a drawer left that does not fit on the screen. And I know I can whittle the fat here. There are just so many products that I've tried that don't work for me that I don't need to keep holding on to. So let's dive in. Let's start out with AOA Studio. So I picked up, this is their brand new CC cream that just launched like a week or two ago in my time. And I've tried it once. I don't have enough for a full review yet, but I already like it more than their Vitaglow. So I'm going to declutter the Vitaglow, and I'm going to keep the CC cream in their 2 lightest shades. I have Fair and Light. This Air Flash is almost empty, but I don't know, it just, the color is so off on me. It makes me look really, really bad. It looks like I got an orange tan when I wear it. But I like the formula. Like, it feels so nice on my skin. But this is literally their lightest shade. It doesn't work for me. It's 1N. Do they have a lighter shade? I kind of want to check to see if they have a lighter shade. Is it called the Air Flash? Yeah. Air Flash, huh. Did they discontinue this? Oh, is it now at Ulta? Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, you know what? I checked. I cannot find this foundation anywhere. I think it's being discontinued. So just because of that, I want to keep it. And see, because there's only like this much left in the can. There really is not that much. I was going to say, if I could find a lighter shade, I would declutter this one and get the lighter shade. but I don't think it's going to be available anymore. And I kind of want to keep it because of that. So I'm going to hold on to it. Alrighty, bitey. Let's go through some shades. You can see I've got some vastly different shades going on here. I've got the Lancome Teint Adult Ultra Wear. So this is the Glow one. And I believe, see, this one I bought a few weeks ago, but I think they just re-released this with a new formula. So I don't know. You know, I'm going to give it a little bit longer. I'm not even showing you in the middle of the camera. I'm going to give this one a little bit longer. But if I mix these two together, I get a shade that does match me perfectly. This one's too light. This one's too dark. I got this one in PR, so I couldn't really pick this one. This one was my fault. I just picked the wrong shade. And that's shade 95 Ivory Warm. And the shade I got in PR was 105W. So these two together work pretty well. So I'm going to hold on to both of those. Another foundation mismatch. All entirely my fault. So I originally picked up this shade of the KVD Good Apple Serum Foundation. This is shade 008. And it's way too light and way too yellow. And then I got this one, which is shade 18, and it's too dark and a little too cool. So mixed together, these work great for me. And honestly, I should have just returned this one or exchanged this one for a better shade. So I don't actually know what line. I just know I'm somewhere between 8 and 18. So for now, I'm going to use these together because I actually love the formula. I've been wearing this for a few weeks now, and oh my god, it's one of the best foundation bases I've ever gotten. So I need to keep these. Okay, so more shades that don't match that I can actually get rid of because you can see the progression of how pale I've been through this Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. This is shade 008 Fair Beige, and this used to be my shade, no longer my shade. And then we have shade 005 Honey Beige, which is also not my shade. I think I got 5 because it was, you know, less than 8, but I'm pretty sure 5 is almost as dark, if not a little bit darker than 8, which makes no sense. So I need to declutter both of those because those shades just do not match because I have shade 002 Porcelain Beige, which matches me dang near perfectly. So I'm going to keep this one. I will declutter the other two. Okay, this one I need to declutter because it's just nasty. Do you see how it separates? Ugh. I think this one has actually turned. And I have to say, I've been, you know, collecting makeup. I've had this channel for years and years. I can count on one hand the amount of products that have gone bad on me. And this is one of them. I think it smells like paint thinner. What? Oh my god, that smells terrible. Yep, so that's a declutter. This foundation I just picked up and I have not actually used yet. This is the Essence Keep Me Covered Long Lasting Foundation, and I hate the sticker that Ulta put on it. But I have the shade 10 Pale, and I'm hoping it's a decent shade match for my face, but it actually might be a little bit too pale on me, so we'll see. Okay, so one that I actually think can go is the KVD Original Locket Foundation. I love the packaging. I love the idea behind it. But this formula does not work the best in my skin. And it's silly to keep this when I know the serum foundation is so much better for my skin from the same brand. So I will declutter this one. Let me just quickly grab these BB creams because they're not going anywhere. I have two from Misha, the Signature Real Complete BB Cream and the Perfect Cover BB Cream, both in the shade 13. And the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream, which is like almost empty. I could probably finish this in like a week if I just used it straight. And that's in the shade 120 Fair N. Okay, next I have this stick foundation from Makeup Revolution, and this is in the shade F1. And honestly, I always kept this because I loved it for traveling. It was one of the best travel foundations ever, but if you missed it, I actually had a travel nightmare happen a few months ago. If you missed the story time, I'll throw that up in the cards. But, you know, between life circumstances and that happening, we are not traveling anywhere significant for a long, long time. We're saving up for a house right now. And we're hoping that the market calms down by the end of the year. So we're not going to be traveling. And I don't know if I should hold on to this just because of travel. But also, it's a really good foundation. It's the only stick foundation formula I actually like. So I think I'm going to hold on to it because of that. Because I really do like the formula. Okay, next. Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. You know, I was so close to already decluttering this. I tried this so many ways. With brush, with sponge, with different primers. The only way I have found that I actually really enjoy this is a silicone-based primer and going in with my fingies and applying it and blending it in that way. And to be honest, I'm not a fan of the experience of putting this on. It's just too messy for me. I don't really, honestly, most of the time, unless it's concealer, I don't like getting in foundation with my hands and applying it. I would much rather use a brush or a sponge. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I think we're going to declutter the Danessa Myricks. Goodbye. And And these two I am going to hold on to. I have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the shade 105. This is my summer holy grail. And then I have my MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade N4. This is my closest MAC shade. I like being up to date with my MAC shade matches, so it can hopefully help me better match for other foundations when I go shopping. I did a whole video actually not too long ago where I talked about my MAC shade and I talked about my current best foundation matches. If you missed it, I will throw that up in the cards. All right, this is the last of the foundations. So let's start, shall we? You know what? I want to go ahead and swatch these AOA Studio Stick foundations because I really only need to keep one to test it out. And I can go ahead and say this one is just way too orange. So this one is going to get decluttered. These I have not tested yet, but I've kept them just in my drawer all sealed up, and I need to just pick a shade that would work best and then actually test it out. So we've got that shade, and then we've got that shade. Right off the bat, I think it's going to be this one. So this is shade Porcelain, because of course it is. I'm pale as fuck. And I'm decluttering Fair Ivory, and then that other shade that I didn't even swatch is Light Ivory, which I don't know in what world that's Light Ivory, but hey. All right. Definitely keeping this Wet n Wild Pump Makeup Blocker BB cream. I found this to be such a great dupe for that Chantecaille CCU foundation, whatever, that recently got like a bump in popularity again. But I tried it once and I loved it, but it was so expensive. And then I found this product and my life was amazing. So I'm going to keep this one. What should we talk about next? Let's talk about how much I hate the Lady Gaga foundation. I got this Haus Labs foundation in PR. And it is just so bad on my skin. It's so cakey and flaky, and no matter what I did, no matter what primers or powders or setting sprays, nothing I did could make this look good on me. And it's a shame because, you know what, it's not a shame. I was gonna say because I like the packaging, but fancy packaging does not make a good product. So this is gonna go. Okay, next we have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundations in both matte and dewy. And to be frank, I purchased these not recently, like a few months ago, to retest them because I could not remember what I thought about them, and I still have not tried them. So I'm gonna hold on to these. I do have my shade, which is Porcelain, because yes, you know what, let's just assume that in every foundation shade range, I'm gonna be Porcelain, or the lightest shade. Next we have the Milani, and I did not know if they reformulated their foundation or if they just changed the packaging. So I got the new one in the shade 00A Porcelain, which is actually a decent shade match for me because previously I could not find a shade match for the life of me. But then previously I had 0A3 Warm Porcelain, which their naming convention is also bonkers. I have no idea why they named things the way that they did. But I have not tested these side by side yet, but I don't know if I would. You know what? I've got room in the drawer now. I will keep these two because I know I want to test this and see if it's actually a formula change or if it's just a packaging change. So if you guys know, let me know down below. Okay, next we've got, you know what, let's do the Double Wear first. I bought this because the 21 Days of Beauty had it on half off, and I had not owned a Double Wear in years, and I finally got an updated shade match. I have shade 0 and 1, which was my shade match when I put in the MAC N4. So looking in the bottle, it looks slightly different, but I think it's going to be a decent shade match, especially in the summer. I mentioned that the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless was my Holy Grail drugstore summer foundation. My Holy Grail higher end foundation has been the Estee Lauder, or if you were around when it came out, that Too Faced Peach foundation. That was amazing, and I don't know why they discontinued it. I am still upset about it, but that was my other Holy Grail summer foundation. All right, let's talk about Mikilo. The company reached out to me and sent me these foundations in PR. So the same foundation, but in 3 different shades, and this was trash. It smelled slightly off, but then in general, it just performed really badly. And I took pictures and I did full day wear tests with these, and it just never worked for me. So the company stopped reaching out, which is understandable, and I never wanted to post a video because unless a product is like an incredible amount of fail, I won't do a whole video just for it. So I figured I would either mention it in an empties video or in a declutter video, and here we are. This was like their light shade bundle, and I don't think any of them really worked for me shade-wise. But that being said, I wouldn't recommend this because the foundation just looked like it always creased and it always looked dry no matter what I did. And I don't have dry skin, I have combo skin, so It just was not good. So I'm going to declutter all 3. And now we come to the Armani. So I have the Power Fabric and I have the Luminous Silk. And I have shades 1 and 1.5. I believe shade 1 is a bit of a better shade match for me. I did like swatch these in that video I mentioned earlier, but I have not gone back to check. I do like the formula. It is just kind of a pain in the butt that the shade matches aren't perfect, but since I like the formula, I will hold on to these. Wow, so out of 36 foundations, we've decluttered 12. That's pretty good for me. In full disclosure, I do think that's probably going to be the most ruthless part of this declutter because my foundations desperately needed to be decluttered. Next, we have concealers, and I really don't think I need, you know what, I'm going to lie, and I'm going to stop myself before I keep lying because I know I can declutter a couple of these. Right off the bat, I did just pick up this NYX Bear With Me and the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Dark Spots, along with the Naked Quickie Concealer from Tarte. So I am going, this is Tarte, right? No, it's Urban Decay. Oh, oops. So I'm going to hold on to these. Unfortunately, The Ordinary is discontinuing both their foundations and concealers. I think they've already discontinued the concealers. So this one, I think it's actually a little too, is it dark or light for me? It might be a little dark on me. Yeah, it was really pinky. So this one doesn't work great for me. And unfortunately, you can no longer buy it. So I'm going to declutter it. I want to keep these Maybellines. I have the Superstay. This is actually new to me. I've never tried this one yet. This is the Activewear Superstay Concealer. So I really want to test that out. But this is my Holy Grail Summer Concealer. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. I have 2 shades though. I have shade 100 and 110. I think 110 might not work for me. So I might need to go ahead and like, I think I bought that on accident. Ooh, and you're not doing a twisty. Why are you not twisty? Oh, there we go. Okay, so that is 110. There we go. So that's what it's supposed to sound like. Well, you twisty. There we go. Oh, that's very pink. Yeah, 100 is my shade. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter the 110 because that shade just isn't going to work for me. And I think I bought that by accident. And I will stick with the shade 100. And that's porcelain, right? If I'm not... Nope, it's ivory. Ooh, look, we have a different title. This Cover FX one, it was just okay. It's the Power Play Concealer. I picked it up because I wanted to try something new. And it's just okay. It's almost empty. I actually just pulled the stopper out so I could start scraping out the bottle. It's nothing to really write home about, but I do want to scrape out, you know, the rest of it and get my money's worth out. So I'll keep that. The Dermablend one, I like the formula, but honestly, I think I got too dark of a shade for my under eyes. This would probably be better suited for spot concealing, but for spot concealing, I do prefer the Dermacol. So I'm gonna declutter the Dermablend, and this is in the shade 15N. So yeah, that was just too dark for me. I have the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer, which I do like this one a lot. I just don't reach for it as often. It still smells good. It still looks good. It's separated a little bit, but it mixed together pretty well, so I'm gonna keep it. And this is in the shade Fair Warm. All right, last but not least, we're coming to the Dermacols. Now, I have a shade that I know isn't gonna work for me, and that's 210. I think it's just too dark for me. And I need to go ahead, well, let me just do one last swatch, but I need to go ahead and declutter it. So I'm gonna swatch 210 all the way over there. Then I'm gonna swatch 208 in the middle. And 207 on the end. Yeah, so I need to go ahead and declutter 210. You see how dark that is? Because 207 and 208, I think this would be like my spot concealer, and this would be my under eye concealer. Which is so strange when like 207 is darker than 208. But I don't like it when shade ranges do that, but that just happens sometimes. So I figured I would throw in the color correctors that I have with the concealers. I only have 3 and I'm not getting rid of any of them. I have the Becca and Smashbox Under Eye Salmon Color Corrector that I actually really, really enjoy. Though, is that the packaging? Oh my god, the packaging is rubbing off. And I have not had that for that long. You know, it's amazing how some of this like mid-range, higher-end foundation or, you know, packaging just sucks. Goes to show you how much of this really is truly a markup. Anyway, moving on to the Stila. This is their color correcting palette, and I've really been enjoying it, so I'm gonna keep this. And this one is a new purchase of mine. I actually have not tested this more than once already. This is the Shape Tape Color Corrector, and I have the shade Peach because I have dark circles. So out of 16 concealers and color correctors, we are decluttering 4. Okay, so these are all of my loose powders. I'm the same way about powders as I am about setting sprays. I use them every day. I like to stock up when I can get a deal, so I end up with quite a bit sometimes. I am not going to get rid of any of these. I'm going to be really honest. I bought these on sale. Some of these I even got for free. Like this Maybelline Fit Me was a free with purchase, and I'm not going to turn down free because free is from me. And all of these, except for the e.l.f. and the AOA, because I have not tested them yet, work amazingly. So I've got the Flower Miracle Glow Finishing Powder. I have a mini of the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I have the Givenchy Prism Libre, which is so expensive, but I got this in PR and I loved it, and I went out and I bought it. That's how much I love this, because it's just so good. It looks like you're airbrushed under your eyes. You've got the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I have the shade 5, and this just is such a good, like, everyday workhorse of a product. It's so affordable. It's got a great shade range. I also love the packaging. Out of all of these, this has the best, well, this one and the Givenchy, because practically they're the same, have the best packaging when it comes to a loose powder. I have the Coty Airspun because I also got this on a great deal for like $2. $2 for this much product. Amazing. And I have the shade Naturally Neutral. And then these are newer purchases that I have not tested out yet. I have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder, and then I have the AOA Studio Puff and Set. I'm going to go ahead and say ditto for the pressed powders. I use pressed powder every day. I just like to stock up whenever I can get a good deal. I've got 3 of the AOA Studio Perfect Pressed Finishing Powders. I have this Pure powder that I got in PR, and I do have pan in it, so working on it. This e.l.f. powder, this is actually a powder foundation. Again, I'm almost done with it. I just need to repress this so it's a little bit easier to use and finish up. This Essence, I actually have not tested this yet. This is brand new to me. This is the 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation in the shade Porcelain. Oh my god, could you imagine if you took a shot every time I said porcelain in this video? I think we would all die. And then this is the Studio Fix Powder in the shade N4. Though I have to say, when this sets a foundation, it does get darker. So it's not like a true N4 unless you're using it like on bare skin. So I'm debating whether to keep this because it, like I said, it really only stays true to the shade if you're using it as a true powder foundation on its own. But I don't use powder foundation. I use powder foundation to set my foundation because I like how much coverage it can add and I like how it sits in my skin. So that being said, I'm going to declutter this one. So out of 16 pressed and loose powders, we are decluttering 1. And it's a shame MAC discontinued the back to MAC because I would scrape this out and bring it back, but that's no longer a thing. Okay, we are going to completely jump here to something else because the next like drawer in my collection had all of my liquid shadows. So I thought this would be a good time. Let's go ahead and jump to all my single shadows because I bought into the hype of like single shadows back in 2015, 2016. But I have to say, I definitely prefer palettes. I do not really like single shadows unless they are kind of an all-in-one product, like these liquid shadows, like these Tom Ford duos. So I want to go ahead and just be as ruthless here as I can be. And you know what? Straight up, I think it's going to be these shadows. I really enjoyed these. 2 of these are from Geek Chic Cosmetics, which is unfortunately a brand that no longer exists anymore. This was a Cowboy Bebop themed shadow, and this was something else. They're really pretty green shadows, but I feel like I really got my use out of them. They lasted so long, and they're still full. But I'm not reaching for them, so they need to go. And then this was actually a sample of a shadow from Crow and Pebble that I'm just not reaching for. This was also like a free sample or point perk or something I got. It's a Natasha Denona shadow, and you know, I've got many palettes from her. I don't need to keep one single shadow. Except for this one, I lied. This is the Blackest Black shadow from Natasha, and I need to keep this just to compare, especially to her other palettes. Like, it's an okay shadow. It's not like blow my mind the best black ever, which I expected, but I want to keep this for reference. Okay, so these, I'm actually going to move these probably to like my concealers section because I use the MAC Paint Pots as primer. I do not use them just as shadow. I have Painterly and Soft Ochre. Righty, tighty, lefty loosey. I am going to keep all of these chromium liquid shadows from Natasha. She actually discontinued 3 of them. 2 of them are still available for sale, and that is Infer Nude and Scarab, the nude and the green shade. These 3 you can no longer get anymore. They're limited edition. So I'm going to hold on to all of these. I love these because even on my hooded lids, these are a one and done all over the shadow, all over the lid, lasts all day, looks amazing. Throwing this on makes it look like I spent an hour on my eye makeup and I spend less than 5 minutes. So these are some of my holy grails. All right, next we got these Tom Ford duos. I got one in PR and the other one I actually purchased. I have this black one that has a nice gold shadow on the top. And then this is the one I got in PR. It's got like this rose goldy kind of shade. And then we've got like, I don't know how to describe that. But we've got these 2. I really do like them a lot, so I'm going to keep both. Alrighty, these Stilas I actually just repurchased because my old Stilas dried out. I love the Stila Glitter and Glows, but they do dry out fairly quickly. So I'm hoping I can get a lot of use out of these before they do dry out. And then let me test these 2 from CoverGirl. I love these CoverGirl shades, but again, they also dry out. This one's fine. So this one is fine. I don't know about this orange one. Looks a little dry. That felt grainy. That felt a little dry. Okay. As much as I love this orange shade, it was perfect for the fall, but I need to go ahead and declutter that one because it's basically dried out, and I'll keep these. Okay, so let's start on this side for my actual single shadows. I feel like I need to be actually ruthless here, and I've got a section for empty pans. I need to move these 2. Okay, this black shade, I could always use a black shade. I'm going to keep that, but these I need to go ahead and swatch, see what we're dealing with. Oh, I don't like that at all. That's pretty. We are keeping that. That is Tea Garden, I believe, from ColourPop. This one can go away. And what are you? Oh, looks like a bruise. Do I want a bruise? Let's let a maybe. Let's because I kind of like that effect. All right, now I really don't reach for these at all. Ooh, am I gonna do it? I think I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna like blanket all these greens. I'm just gonna let them go. We're gonna get rid of all of these. I'm gonna keep that black shade. We're gonna just plop all of these. And you know, these ones, I actually saved these shades from a palette I decluttered, and I just saved those because I really do like those shades. This one, I feel like I can get use out of just like the black, just setting my eye primer. And then this one's actually a really pretty shimmer. So I think I'm gonna save the bruise from the maybe. And I think these are gonna be the last of my single shadows. And who knows, this might be an upcoming project to finish these and never buy another single shadow again. So out of 35 single shadows, we decluttered 15. That is pretty damn good. Next, we're gonna go through lashes, and I really need to be a bit strict here because even though this is like a small collection of lashes, I never wear lashes. I really don't. And what I want to do is kind of pick the best ones I think for kind of cutting and frankening, because what I really like to do is cut like the outer third-ish and make like a half lash out of them. I think that looks best on my eye shape. So let's go through these. I gotta say, I love the Glamnetic ones. I've bought some of these and I've gotten some of these in PR, but they're just such good quality and I love that they're magnetic. So let me see. I really like those. These ones I think can go. I'm not really gonna wear something that kind of bold, so that can go. I love that one. That looks really natural. And these ones are the brown lashes. I really like those. So I'll keep those. And then what is this one? Yeah, I'll cut these ones up first, I think, because they're the oldest and the kind of the grodiest looking out of all of my Glamnetic lashes. So we'll keep those. And then here, I feel like I can be a bit strict with my Cavalli lashes. I don't wear these. They're fun and dramatic, but I don't wear them. So let me just declutter the whole stack, really. And while we're here, I only have one pair of like, tweezers and one lash glue. And I think, oh my God, I think this is dried out. I can't even open it. Yeah, that is dry. Good to know. I can't even wear the lashes. Ooh, I can't even wear the lashes if I wanted to. So I need to buy a new lash glue, so that's going away. But I will keep the tweezers. All right, so I'm pretty sure these are Ardell's, or are they Shop Missé? These might be Shop Missé's. I should have wrote the name on the back. I'm a bad YouTuber. I'm gonna get rid of these, the Madelines. They're just a bit too dramatic, and I know I'm not gonna wear them. The Rose, the Rita, and the Aria, they're all cat eyes, and they look nice. I feel like I could keep the Ritas and kind of wear those as is for a dramatic look, but then these, I feel like I could probably cut nicely. So I'll keep these. So out of 14 pairs of lashes, we were decluttering 6. Not too shabby. So realistically, I don't think anything is going to leave here. These are all of my brow products and mascaras. So like this is a brow pencil I got from CoverGirl and PR. It's a nice pencil, so I'll keep that. It's my only brow pencil too. This and these are all mascaras. And I like getting mini mascaras whenever I have like a point perk, or if it's a free sample, I'll take it, because for the most part, you can use a sample mascara for just as long as you would use a full-size mascara. So I've got this one from Clinique, I've got one from e.l.f., and then I've got my holy grail, the Essence Lash Princess. I have 2 of those. Here, I really wanted to try out some like clear mascaras and brow gels, because I really wanted to see if I could find something that would hold up my lashes, like keep the curl, but not tint them, for like kind of a more natural look. I'm still looking. This CoverGirl one doesn't really work great on my lashes, so it's just a meh, but I haven't tried it as a brow gel, so I need to give that a shot. I have not actually tried this Holipop one from Holika yet. I'm excited to give this one a shot. You know, I might go ahead and put this in my everyday makeup basket. And then this one I have also not tried yet. This is from NYX. This is the brow glue. So I forgot to mention these earlier with like my eye primers, but I have the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Eden. And then this is the NYX Multitasker Mixing Medium. This is what you can use to make like a shadow, a liner. I'm gonna keep both of these. All right, are you ready for something truly ridiculous? Why do I have this many eyeliners? I don't use this many eyeliners. I certainly don't. So we need to really dig in here and only pull out like the best of the best. So let me go through. First off, I love my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils. Those are all staying. So let me see, what do I have? I have Milk, I have Cottage Cheese, and they're the oldest. I've had these for years and they're kind of grody, but they still work great and they sharpen. These ones are new. I got a rose gold and then I got like the matcha shade. Very, very pretty. These are all staying. While we're on that NYX note, I'm gonna pull out all of the, what are these? The Epic Wear liner sticks. Best eyeliner formula I have ever tried for the waterline. Seriously. That's why I have so many colors. We got this one. We got this one. The white one is shorter than the rest because I've used it the most. Is that it? I do think that is it. Oh, and I forgot. This is actually a brow pencil. I'm going to put this with the other brow products. But yes, all of these, they are amazing. I wish they made more colors in this formula because I would literally buy all of them. Okay, so we can start really getting brutal here. These ones from NYX, I don't know what the heck is the difference between these and the other ones. These are so sharp and pointy no matter how many times like I do this to dull them down. These hurt my eyes. So I don't want to keep using them. These can be decluttered. This is my only liquid white liner. It's from AOA Studio. So I do want to hold on to it. I'm going to keep this one. Oh, I forgot. This is another NYX color from the Epic Wear line. I'm going to keep that. Oh, I lied. This is another white liner. Okay, let me swatch these 2 white liners. Let's see which one's better. Okay. That's close. Ooh, I kind of like the NYX slightly more. I don't know if it's because I've put it on my makeup and stuff, but it looks like there's like a slight pink tinge to the AOA Studio one. So I will keep the NYX and we will declutter the AOA. All right, let's jump in. You know, this one, let me swatch. Oh, yep, that feels gross. This is the AOA Studio XL Shadow Stick. I use them as liners, but they dry out so quickly. This packaging isn't good for keeping them like well sealed like the NYX pencils are. This keeps it sealed and these stay nice and soft. These ones get hard within like a month or 2. So I'm gonna declutter this one. Okay, we're gonna be ruthless. All right, first, this Essence Lash Princess Liner. I bought this and I was excited to try it because I love the mascara so much. The liner is just okay. It's honestly too thick to really use it. Like, I wish this was a little bit thinner and not as wide, because when you draw a line, See how thick that is? I prefer like a thin line. That's the thinnest. Let me see. Like that's the thinnest line you can get. And you see how many times I had to like cover or go over myself there for it to show up. It's not great for what I wanted to do. So we're going to declutter this one. All right. This is the AOA Studio liner in, ooh, that packaging sounded like it just broke. This is a black line. Ooh, that is dry. See, that's the problem. AOA has such great products and they're affordable, but the longevity on them is not there. They don't last long. So if you have a small collection and you know you're going to use something until it's basically empty, AOA is great. But in this, I'm talking about like their foundations, like their wet products. That's a weird way of putting it. But like their wet product, like their liner, their foundation, their concealers, all go bad a lot faster than the rest of the products in my collection. So keep that in mind. This one's unfortunately dried out, so I'm going to declutter that one. This is a brand new liner from Shop Miss A. It's, ooh, yeah, it's really pretty. I haven't actually used this on my eyes yet, so I need to keep it until I can test it. I don't like how thick it is. I kind of wish it was a little bit thinner, but it's a really pretty black. All right. Let me test out these other ones. These are also Shop Miss A, and they might have dried out as well, which is going to make me sad because I love these stamps. Ah, the stamps are still good. Yay. That is a heart. That one's a star. How cute. And that one's a flower. I'm going to keep those just because of the stamps. Those are whimsical as hell, and I love them. All right. Speaking of stamps, these are the iMethod like wing stamps. They actually work pretty damn well. I do like the wing stamp. Again, this is just a little thick. I kind of wish it was a bit of a thinner line, but I'm keeping it for the stamps, and they have like one stamp for each side, a left and a right. Getting down to the nitty gritty here. I kind of want to get rid of the Pixie because it's like the only Pixie product I have in here, and I know I have other eyeliners, but I just love this. Okay, we're going to swatch this on the inside of my wrist, but that's such a pretty like unique color. And the closest eyeliner I have to it might be like these two. That one's light. And yeah, they're like greeny. There's something, I really don't have anything like it, and I really do like it, so I should keep it. All right, next I picked up this Intenso liner because Taylor Wynn mentioned how much she liked it for her waterline, and I was looking for like a nice nude for the waterline, and it's a really creamy, really, really pretty pencil. So I am gonna hold on to this one. These two, they're oldies but goodies. Honestly, this one is like the first eyeliner pencil I ever got. It's from Lancome, and I want to finish it. It was part of my Petty Project pan back in the day, and I don't want to get rid of it until it's done. So I'm gonna keep that one. And then this is just a really good Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eye pencil. Ooh, it popped out of there a little bit, but this is just like the creamiest, darkest black for my waterline. It's so pretty. I gotta keep it. Now, last, and you know what, least at this point, I've had this Natasha Denona black liner set for years, and it survives every declutter because I'm like, but it's Natasha, and I'm sure I'll use it, and then I don't use it. I just need to get rid of this. So we are finally decluttering the Star liner set. I don't even think they sell this anymore. So out of 34 eyeliners, we decluttered 8. I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I wanted to do a bit more, but yeah, this is what we got. All right, next we're gonna go over face palettes. Now, I love a good face palette, but I don't use a good half of these. And I feel like I need to be a bit strict with myself here. So let's jump in. You know what? Let's start hot with one that I was actually pretty disappointed in. This is the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. And these are some of the first like face products I tried from Natasha. I didn't even take off this part, but I tried these products. I hit hard pan in like the highlighter immediately. Ugh, I hate how that feels. The blush, it's an okay shade. It doesn't look fantastic on me, but also I hate how small these pan sizes are. They're really hard to get brushes into. And then this, I gotta say, I do like that highlighter shade. That is a very pretty shade, but I don't want to keep the palette just for one highlighter shade. So I'm going to declutter this one. After that palette, I did pick up the Bloom palette, and honestly, I have not had enough time to fully test this, so I'm going to hold on to this for now. Next, we got this Lorac Cheek palette. I really do like this palette, so I'm going to hold on to this one. Okay, so these are also 2 Lorac palettes. I have to say, I don't get a whole lot of use out of these. So I'm going to declutter these. These are the Beverly Hills and DTLA palettes. All right, let's talk about Milani. So I have 2 of their face palettes here. I don't know, I really wanted to test these out and do a review, but I haven't really been doing specific product-focused reviews for a while. The bronzers really don't work for me that well, but I kind of like the trio of shadows in the middle, and I really do like the highlights. So you know what? I am going to hold on to these. And these are the Milani. Do they have names? Oh, it says volume 130 smoky on this one, and then this one says volume 110 light to medium. This one I gotta keep. It's like one of my favorite face palettes of all time. This is the Smashbox Ablaze face palette. To be honest, the bronzer and contour are a little too dark for me now. I have to use a super light hand, but I love these blushes, and the highlighters are really pretty. Next we have the Tarte Park Avenue Princess palette, and I bought this off of Poshmark because I was really upset that I missed it when it was out. And the only reason this is in face palettes is because it has like these 2 highlighter shades right here. But it's stunning, and I gotta say, I love the Tarte bronzer formula. It is beautiful. Speaking of Tarte, I have this palette that my friend Bougie Brie sent me, and it's just a really cute, simple palette. I could see myself really liking this when traveling. It's got the big blush in the middle, and I remember back when like Tarte blushes were just everywhere. So I want to keep this one, and I love the packaging. It's really, really pretty. I gotta say, Tarte packaging is just so stunning. And this is the original Clay Play face palette. Hello. That I will never get rid of because they discontinued it. How dare they? My favorite palette. So, keeping it. You can rip this from my cold dead fingies. All right, we have the Profusion Sculpt and Glow palette, and I have to say I'm so impressed by the Profusion formula down here. I don't use the shades nearly as much as I should. I love this palette specifically for basically the contour trio down here. They're so comparable to the Smashbox formula. And I don't know if I should. I want to keep this. I do. I want to keep it. Next we have from Lunatic Cosmetic Labs. Just how amazing is that packaging. I love it. This is their contour book, volume 1, I believe. I love this dark gray shade for contour. It looks really, really nice. And if you can tell, this is my favorite bronzer shade. So I am definitely going to keep this. And also this light blush shade is so pretty. All right, so I bought these liners back when Midas was having their closing down sale. And I gotta admit, I've barely used them. And I don't think I need to keep both of these palettes because both of them have a black and a white. Now the question is, what kind of liners would I be more likely to reach for? Oh, those are so pretty. Or the pastels. You know, I don't find myself really being a pastel girly, right? I think I would use these, the neons. So yeah, I will keep the neons. And I think I will go ahead and move these because I moved these originally from the eyeliner spot because I was running out of room to the face palettes section. But I think this belongs in eyeliners. So I'm going to keep this one, put it in eyeliners, and this one I will probably go ahead and sell on my Poshmark because I really didn't use it. And last but not least, we have the Butter Box. I love this stupid box from Physicians Formula. It's got, like, as of the time of this being created, all the butter bronzers, all of their eyeshadows, all of their highlighters, all the blushes, and then all of the lip products, which I need to scrape out at this point. None of those are good. And then it comes with a cute little mirror for, like, travel and stuff. And I gotta say, when we moved, I used this as, like, my vanity. It was great. And I love having it just all in this one little box. And it's really easy to, like, you know, when Ulta comes out with their holiday stuff, to, like, create a makeup box and have it be, like, kitschy or bad or just kiddish. This is just so nice. It does get a little dirty, but this is so nice and I really, really enjoy it. So this is also staying with me. So excluding the eyeliner palettes that I kind of shifted over, we had 14 face palettes and I decluttered 3 of them. Next, let's go ahead and jump into individual bronzers and contours. So I don't have a whole lot here, so I don't think I'm going to be getting rid of a lot. Oh, why is this in here? This is a blush palette. So let's start with what's in the Z palette. So I have a couple of deep potted shades in here. This is actually from my 2020 Pen That palette. It's the custom bronzer shade I made using the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. Definitely keeping that. This is like one of my favorite blushes, my favorite bronzers ever. This is from Milani, and this is the baked bronzer in the shade Dulce. It is beautiful. It's like one of the most natural looking bronzers I have. Love that to pieces. This one, you know what? I think I can get rid of. This is from Smashbox, and this is from their Contour Trio, and I don't need this because I've got the Profusion shades in the palette. So this I'm going to declutter. But these two I am going to keep. These are both shades from the ABH Sun Dipped Glow Kit, and they make such a really pretty, glowy bronzer in the summer. So we're keeping those. All right, next I've got some bronzing contour sticks from Shop Miss A, and I think I'm only going to keep one because this is actually a really pretty shade. I love this tone. So I'm going to keep this one, and that is in the shade... Oh, did I mix up these shades? Oh, I think this is Fawn. Oh, nope, I lied. It says nude on the bottom. Thank you, makeup companies that package on the lid and on the bottom, so I can tell. So we're going to keep Fawn. Nope, nude. I lied. This is Fawn. Fawn is so orange on me. I cannot use that one, so that's getting decluttered. Okay, next I have two of the e.l.f. Putty bronzers, and I'm pretty sure one of these is a better shade match for me than the other. Yeah, so you can see one is definitely more cool toned, like a contour, and the other one is actually a bronzer. Well, actually, you know, these might both... Oh, nope. You see how orange that is? I cannot use that. It's hard finding a nice cream bronzer or contour when you're really, really pale. That just looks so pretty. That blends out like so perfectly on my skin tone. So I'm definitely keeping that one. So this is the Luminous Putty Bronzer. And it doesn't have the shade on here, unfortunately. Yeah, so I will have to look up the shade that I have this in, and I will throw it up on the screen. But I'm going to keep this one, and I'm decluttering the regular putty bronzer. So this, I've had this for way too long, and I'm not using it, so I need to declutter it. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. Is that not a throwback? I loved this powder, and once upon a time, I could actually use shade 004 Sandstorm as my face powder shade. I used to be that dark. And now I'm not. I can use the lightest shades still, but I haven't bought it in a while. You know, I kind of want to rebuy this, especially for the summer. It's such a good, like, just all-around face powder. But I bought this. I've literally had this for years because it was back when I still had it as a face powder. I never got around to it, and I got too light for it. And then I held on to it thinking, oh, but it's a bronzer. You can use it as a bronzer. And clearly, it's still wrapped. I have not used it, so I need to pass this along. Alrighty. I finally picked up... Oh, this is a highlighter. Did I buy this thinking it could be a bronzer? I think I did. Why you no open? How dare you? So I have some products from Shop Miss A, the AOA Studio line here, and this one is, I think, a bronzer in the shade Sand, or, you know, I gotta admit, I have not used this on my face yet, and it looks kind of orangey, but I haven't actually tried it, so I can't declutter it until I actually give it a good shot. Now this one is actually a highlighter in the shade Countess, and I think I bought this before... Oh, wow, that is glowy. I bought this before they actually came out with bronzers, thinking I could make it a bronzer a la the shades from the ABH Glow Kit, but it's not the same. It's too dark and too glowy, so I'm going to declutter this one. All right, our last few items here. We have the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, which is definitely not worth it for the price. I petty panned this a while ago. And I'm only keeping this out of spite because I want to finish it. There's so much pan, I've got to finish it at some point. So that will be finished at some point. I love the balm. I haven't placed an order for them in a while, but this is the Take Home in the Bronze. I think this is before they had to like go and rename all of them. This one's called Oscar, and I think they got into copyright trouble. So they had to rename all of these. But this is such a good bronzer. It's really, really pretty, and I love the packaging. How cute is that? So they really do knock it out of the park with their packaging. I need to buy more from the balm. And then we have a Kylie. This is in khaki. Kylie bronzer. It's not the best. Yeah, I'll declutter it. I don't really have like a good opinion either way about this one. It's strictly like a middle of the road meh, and I don't use it, so that can go. So out of 15 products, we decluttered 6. That's pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. Next, we're going to be going through blushes, and I think to make this a little bit easier on myself, we're going to split this into cream and liquid and then just powder. So let me separate that out. All right, here we are with the powder blushes. I think we should do the loose blushes first because I really only have a few. This one is from a brand that unfortunately no longer exists. This is from Geek Chic Cosmetics, and I love this blush and I love the packaging on this, so definitely keeping this. Next, these are all from Crow and Pebble, and they are just, you know, beautiful, stunning, loose blushes. And since they're loose and super pigmented, a little bit goes a long way. My favorite is actually this one. This one is Torch of Heaven, She Who Shakes the Sky. And it's like this beautiful, like light coral shade. So I do want to keep all of these. I gotta say, I think for blush and highlighter, we might not be decluttering as much because only recently did I really actually start buying blush. And I believe I like the majority of the blushes that I have. This Doja Cat and BH Cosmetics, I think. Yeah, Doja Cat and BH Cosmetics. I really only got because it has the yellow blush. I don't really use these two because these I can totally dupe out with other things in my collection. So I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I really do like this Cover Effects Duo. I got this one on sale. One of the past couple years, it was on the 21 Days of Beauty for half off. And I just love this tone. So keeping that. This is like the only ColourPop blush I have. This is from the ColourPop and Sailor Moon collection. And actually, my friend was able to get a hold of this and she sent it to me. It was Victoria. And I really like it. I love Sailor Moon, and I love the packaging, and I love the really hot pink shade. I don't think I have anywhere else in my collection, so I'm going to hold on to this one. Okay, the Balm Down Boy. It's a really pretty tone, but now I think here's where we're going to start swatching and comparing. That's really pretty. That is so cute. Okay. I think we're going to keep it. Let me swatch the ColourPop one next to it. I mean, it's a deeper kind of shade. I know it's not going to be the same. Yeah, it's more of a fuchsia versus like a light pink, so I'll keep both of those actually. Now, let's see. These AOA ones I like just recently got and I haven't fully tested them out yet. But it doesn't mean we can't take a look at shades and make sure we don't have too much overlap in my collection. Okay, so let's see. This pink honestly could be very comparable to some other pinks that I already own. It's not the exact same, but I do think it's probably close enough to maybe Milani. No, it's actually pretty different. I'll be talking myself out of blushes. Let's try the other Shot Miss A. Those are really pretty. I'm just talking myself into all of these blushes. Ooh, I love that one. Okay, this might be more of a collection section because I love all these Shot Miss A ones. So we're going to keep those. These flower pots. You know, I really do like this, like, orangey one. I'm running out of room to swatch. I should wash off my hand. Actually, where's the... Well, that's a nudie one. I'm going back to compare it to this one from Shot Miss A, but they do look different. Yeah, they do. Okay. This is the one I'm on the fence about. Let me wash my hand off real quick. So this one I don't really wear that often, but it's so pretty. Now that I swatch it out, the problem is, you see how light that is? It doesn't really transfer to a brush that well. So I'm going to declutter this one. For powder, what we have left are these 3 Milanis. And I've had Luminoso. This is Luminoso over here for years. And it really is like hyped for a reason. It's such a really, really beautiful blush. And then I went out and I bought a couple others from their baked blush line. And they're all just gorgeous. That one comes out a little light. But they just look so natural and pretty on the skin that I don't think I can get rid of any of those. You know, if Milani came out with like a capsule like bundle or palette of all of their baked blushes, I would probably buy it. Moving on to cream and liquid blushes. I've only kind of recently, like in the last year and a half, really gotten into cream and liquid blushes. And I've been buying quite a bit. Let's see, this is the e.l.f. Putty Blush. I do think this one's probably just a little too dark for my complexion. It's really pretty dry. It's a really pretty shade and you can blend it out, but that is really dry already. So I do think it's gonna dry out. So let me just go ahead and declutter this one. The Kaja Bento Box. I love these tones, but I kind of hate how small this little container is. I kind of wish it was like this size, just so that I would have a better time getting my hand or a brush in. Like with this, I can really only fit like a concealer brush or my fingers, and I kind of wish I had a little bit more flexibility. So I'm going to declutter this one. Wow, surprising myself there. This one I can't get rid of. This is from Fenty, and this is the shade Fuego Flush, and it's just a beautiful, I love a good orange. blush, which, you know, I don't own as many orange blushes as for someone who does love orange blush, so I should buy some more. That's not what this exercise is about, but I realized I would like some more bright orange blushes, please. Okay, let's talk about Rare Beauty next. Yeah, let's do Rare Beauty next. I love this formula. Going through and using these, the small ones, the big ones, and comparing them to other liquid blushes I've tried just made me realize how great this formula is. So I don't think I'm going to get rid of any of these unless I've got some overlap, which I don't think I do, except there's some where I think I had a mini and then I went and I bought a full size. No, actually, I don't think I have any overlap. Look at me being good when I shop. So let's just... And I gotta say, I appreciate that her minis are packaged well. There's a good amount of product in there and they last a long time. Just look how beautiful these shades are. That one might be getting a little empty. So these are the minis that I have. This is the shade Joy. This is the shade Peace, and I think that's my favorite of all of her shades. This is the shade Bliss, and this is the shade Hope. And then let me just go ahead and swatch the full-size ones, like right above. That is a beautiful shade, though a little bit darker than this one right here. This is the shade Worth. This is the shade Virtue. This is the shade Grateful. And this is the shade Faith. And I'm just going to go ahead and declutter Faith because even though it's like I can use a little bit and super blend it out, I'm never reaching for a purple blush. I'm just not. And so straight up also this one from Shop Miss A that I know is purple and I'm not going to be wearing it can also get decluttered. All right, last but not least, we have these ones. I gotta say, these Shop Miss A ones, I like the formula, hate the packaging. It keeps getting stuck and yeah, the packaging is just so finicky, which is a shame because Shop Miss A can be really hit or miss when it comes to their packaging. They're super affordable, like this packaging. It's so pretty. Like, I don't like that this is plastic, but you can kind of rip that off and just leave it kind of plain. But I really do like the kind of nail polish applicator. That's so nice. And I feel like I get like a better seal on this one than I do with these. So I think I'm going to hold on to these plush blushes. Yeah, those are pretty. And I'm going to declutter these two. So the last we have these Glossier. And I bought these because Glossier is finally at Sephora and I've never tried Glossier. Like, these were the first Glossier products I ever tried. And I have to say, especially compared to the Rare Beauty formula, I'm not a huge fan. They're pigmented, but they really don't blend out nicely. Like, I've tried this with a couple of different foundations now. And with every foundation I've tried it with, it has lifted the foundation, not blended nicely. And it's just looked patchy. The only time this has looked nice is when I've placed this like pure on bare skin, which it might be the way you're supposed to, quote unquote, wear it, but I'm not a fan. So I'll keep testing it because I did just get these a couple weeks ago, but I am not liking these. So I think this, by the time the next declutter happens, these are probably going to be gone. So out of 36 blushes, we decluttered 8. All right, next we're going to be moving on to highlighters, and full disclosure, it's probably going to be more of a collection section and less of a declutter because I really do love all these highlighters. But we're going to swatch them, look through them, see if there's anything we can get rid of. All right, where to start? Let's go ahead and go through the Becca one because I know I'm not getting rid of those. I have here Moonstone. And I believe I decluttered Moonstone and then I regretted it and took it back into my collection. So I am going to keep this one. And then I know this is really ridiculous, but this is my favorite highlighter. It's the Becca Royal Glow Limited Edition highlighter. And technically everything from Becca is limited edition because it no longer exists. But I love this highlighter so much that I have 3 of them. And I've already panned a full version of this highlighter. So technically I've owned 4. This one's still in the box. So that's my one crazy makeup lady thing. I am keeping those. I also want to keep these. I love the Physicians Formula Shimmer Bricks. These are actually one of the first makeup products I ever bought. One of the first makeup products I ever saw on YouTube. And it's such a really pretty, just all over glow. And you can also use them as eyeshadow. I love the packaging, even though it's a little bit bulky. It's cute. For me, it's nostalgic. It's really, really pretty. So I'm keeping these. All right, I think I should start with the AOA Studio ones because, oops, I forgot these 2 Beccas. I'm also keeping these. These were from their Light Chaser collection. So this one is, what are you? Pearl Flashes Gold. And I actually love how teeny tiny these are. And then this one I think is Opal Flashes Jade. Yes, it is. How beautiful. Okay, so back to the AOA Studio. So I have all of these. These pink ones I did just pick up not too long ago, so I haven't fully tested them out yet, but I kind of want to go ahead and swatch and see if there's any overlaps, because like I can see this one does look kind of similar to that one. So I do want to just swatch and see if we can trim any fat here. Let's see, I love the packaging on these. The Everglow highlighters. It's really, really pretty. Like, look how pretty that is. Okay. These look similar. Those look similar. Those might look similar. All right, let's do some swatching. So this is the Paw Paw Highlight in Hopeless Romantic. That looks like Luminoso. Honestly, that does. I kind of want to grab Melania. Hold on a minute. Okay, so it's just like a tiny, slightly bit different. Like Luminoso is a bit more pinky, whereas this one's a bit more corally. But they were very close. Okay, so that being said, it looks like more of a blush topper, blush lighter. So I think I'm going to declutter this one because I do have Luminoso and it was very close. Now let's do these two next. Such a pretty sheen. Okay, so they're different, but I do like this one a lot better. I'm going to keep this one and I'm going to declutter the Halo highlighter. We'll keep this one. Okay, and these two don't really have matches, so let's watch those next. That is so pretty, but it might be too dark for my complexion. Looking at it now, I think that's too dark. So we'll declutter that one. And then this really pretty, like, purpley. Oh, that is bright. You know, that looks like I've got the ABH Moonchild Glow Kit, and there is a purple. Let's see. Oh, very different purples. But I don't think I need that bright of a purple highlight, so I'm going to declutter this one. All right, so let's see. Very pretty. Those look very similar, and they're from the same brand, so there's a very good chance that it is a very similar formula or just repackaged. This one's called Empress, and this one's called Wish on a Star. And I gotta say, this black circle packaging from Shop Missy is unfortunately really cheap, and it does break. I actually just had a face powder break off this morning. So I'm gonna keep this one, because they're basically the same highlighter. Ooh, and these actually look very different. And I love both of them. So we're gonna keep both of these. So like I mentioned, I have a couple of face palettes, and these I've actually already trimmed down. I believe the last declutter is when I really went harsh on my like highlighter palettes, face palettes. So I'm not getting rid of any of these. But I have the ABH Moonchild Glow Kit. I have the ABH Sugar Glow Kit. I have the Lunatic Cosmetic Labs Here Lies Your Face palette, which is just stunning. Gorgeous. I love these shades. And then these are my single highlighters. So these are from, where are these from? I believe this was the Dream Glow Kit that I kind of tore apart, and I just saved these shades. They're very, very bright, very, very dramatic, but sometimes I want that in a highlighter. And then this one's just a single Tarte highlighter. I don't know exactly what shade it is, but this is pretty pared down. I'm not really a fan of having single pan highlighters anymore. Like, look how messy this is. Excuse me. But I think these are okay. Like, enough that I want to keep them. But, like, I'm not going to be looking to depot or buy any single pan highlighters. So I think this is good. All right, these are the last highlighters we have. So this is also from a brand that doesn't exist. This is also Geek Chic Cosmetics, and this is the Moon Tiara Stardust highlighter. And it's a really, really pretty, just like pure silver highlighter, and I love it, and I'm never getting rid of it. Okay, next we have the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick and the Dior Backstage. And I gotta say, this Dior one I bought because Taylor Wynn loved it and said that it was 100% worth the purchase. And I gotta say, I disagree. I'm not really a fan. Like, you can kind of barely sort of see the glow, and I'm someone who, I like seeing my highlight. I like having something that's more pigmented that I can blend out. I can control the level of blend, but these, there's not really a whole lot there, and I think I've already hit hard pan in this one. So this one, I'm going to be frank with you guys, I'm only going to keep it because I'm working on a video where I believe this is going to be included, and probably after that video, that's going to get decluttered. So this is on the chopping block. And then this one was also, I'm working on a video that I wanted to pick this up for, and I'm surprised at how dark this is. This was recommended by so many people, especially like back in like earlier YouTubes. But I don't know if maybe I'm just really pale, but this is so dark. It doesn't really work for me, which is sad. And I think this is the lightest shade that they offer in this highlighter, which is kind of wild to me. But yeah, again, I'm only working on that video, so I think both of these are gonna go, which is surprising. These are like my most higher end highlighters, so yeah. And last but not least, we have a drugstore affordable favorite. This is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. This is the one where it doesn't look like much when you swatch it, but on your face, it just gives you the most natural, like, beautiful glow from within kind of glow, and I'm never getting rid of it. Gotta keep it. And out of 30 highlighters, we're decluttering 5, which isn't amazing, but to be frank, better than I thought I would do. Okay, this is where we absolutely have to get ridiculously, like, harsh with this declutter, because I do not wear lip products anymore. I think in the last year, I can count on one hand the amount of lip products I have worn, and they have been recent or like these very lightweight stains or lip glosses. I do not need these lip products. The only lip products I really need for reference are going to be my black lipsticks. So we're going to cut this down a lot. We are. So first off, these Fenties, these cannot be good anymore. I've had these for years. They've got to be off. Yep, that smells terrible. These are going to go. Next, I've got some AOA Studio ones. Yep, that smells like paint. Bye. I've got these lip glosses, which they were okay. Not a huge fan though. Ooh, I kind of like this one. This is going to be in the maybe pile, the Cherry Blossom one. So put that in the maybe. This one's getting decluttered. These bullet lipsticks from AOA are getting decluttered. Let's just go through pretty fast. This Pixie Red lipstick can go. This Rare Beauty little mini, I think I'm literally going to keep like one red lipstick. Okay, this Rare Beauty little mini will go in the maybe, because I really do like keeping mini lipsticks wherever possible. Okay, this one still smells really good. This is from Besame, and this is the Bullet Lipstick in the shade Red Hot Red. And I believe that was a recreation of Marilyn Monroe's shade. These Wet n Wilds they've been in my collection forever. And as much as I love Rebel Rose, it's my favorite shade, I don't wear these. I need to declutter. We are going crazy. Okay, lip liners. I'm keeping the black lip liner from KVD. I mean, lip liners I feel better because I can sharpen them. So yeah, I'll keep these. These are both just nude lip liners, and I can wear a gloss over them. This is Marc Jacobs, which doesn't exist anymore. Actually, should I get rid of the Marc Jacobs one? Oh. Yeah, okay. We're getting rid of the Marc Jacobs one, and I'll just keep this mini Charlotte Tilbury one. Okay, another ColourPop glossy lip we're decluttering. This AOA Studio Wonder Matte decluttering. This little Melt mini getting rid of. This hot pink from, what are you? Lime Crime. Goodbye. This one, I love this shade from Melt, but I hate how this leaks. Like, I think this has gone off because it just leaks. Yeah, okay. So this is gonna, you hear that and you see that? Oh my goodness, that's gonna stain. I don't know if that's for all of their lipsticks or like just this one, but that's gonna go. I'm done with that. I have just completely lost patience with lip products as of late. Okay, this mini Rare Beauty, the dark one, that's gonna go. I have a MAC lip gloss. Honestly, I've never tried a lip gloss before this one. I got this in a Back to MAC, and I was really disappointed in how sticky it was. I did not need that sticky of a gloss. That's gonna go. This diamond lip gloss. Ugh, okay. This from Shop Miss A. This can also go. This ColourPop one can go. Let me see, is this a black? We're gonna save the black lipsticks for last, because I am gonna keep most of those. I do love my black lipsticks. These lip pencils from Shop Miss A can also go. This Oh Honey lip oil. This used to be a good favorite of mine, but I think they reformulated it because it's not the way I remember it being, and it was in different packaging too. So this is gonna go. Ooh, and that smells off. Ooh, good thing we got rid of that one. Alrighty, now we're getting into the stuff I might actually start keeping. This is my Franken lip product. I mixed together a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick and some Vaseline, so I'm gonna keep this one. These ColourPop and Sophia Nygaard lipsticks, I think they're still good. I mean, they smell fine. I do think bullet lipsticks last longer than liquid lipsticks. And they do all look okay. I'm just double checking to see if any of them have turned or have mold or anything. And if they all look fine, I will be keeping these. Yes, they do. And I do like these shades and these colors and just the aesthetic of the packaging. Come on. I love that. This I'm definitely getting rid of. I've had this for years. This is a mini lipstick from Fenty in the shade Griselda. Beautiful shade. Never wear it anymore. Okay, so I'm only going to keep this Stila red lipstick because I did buy it. I remember buying it like after we moved. So it still smells good. This one smells good, so I'm going to keep it. I do like red lipstick. I'm going to keep like 1 or 2 red lipsticks. And then maybe 1. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm keeping any nudes because I think all of them went bad. Except for maybe this bullet lipstick coming up. But this one, I'm pretty sure the Stila has gone bad. Yeah, that does not smell good anymore. So this little Stila mini is going to go. The only gloss that I've really been enjoying lately has been from Dior. Oh no, it smells off. Yeah, I don't use these lip products. Okay, the Dior is going to go because that definitely went bad. I hope these did not go bad. These are YSL like lip stains and I love them. And I think this is the era of my life where I'm going to be all about the lip stain. Okay, this one smells good. Let me swatch these for you while we're at it. 'Cause this I might be buying more of because this is like the only product that I could see myself using other than like a chapstick. Oh, good. That one. I'm like breathing a sigh of relief each time these smell good. Oh, this one's off. Oh my god, that's so crazy. Okay. So shade number 7 is off, but these 2 are fine. Which is a shame because I think is probably why I use this one the most. So, yeah, okay. We're going to keep these 2. Okay, before we get into the black lipsticks, let's do the green lipsticks. This Fenty cannot be good anymore. I've had that forever. That's in the shade Wasabi. We're going to get rid of it. This wet cherry gloss from Lime Crime. I just don't wear it. That can go. This Notoriously Morbid shade, let's smell it. Okay, doesn't smell bad. We'll keep that one. And then this Sephora Lip Stories one. Still good. Actually, I really like this one. It's such a pretty green shade. It's so creamy. I love the Lip Stories line. It's surprisingly really good. So we will keep those 2. Hello and welcome to my black lipstick hoard. This I know we can cut down by quite a bit. And I'm not including, fair warning, I did pick up some new lipsticks that I'm not including here because I'm testing them for my next black lipstick video. Like this one is the new KVD formula lipstick. So this one is going to be separate. Okay, so digging in here, straight up Black Moon Cosmetics, always a favorite, but now I get to test these to make sure they're all still good. Oh, that smells off. Damn. Okay, so this unfortunately went bad on me, but the Black Moon Cosmetics in the shade Sleepwalker, one of the best. Pick it up if you haven't already. I need to get rid of it, but I am going to probably buy another one immediately. And that's a shame with these lip products. They never last. All right, this Fenty one also cannot be good. Yeah, doesn't smell good. I've had that for way too long. That one was just okay. Not a huge fan of it. Sephora Lip Stories, really enjoyed also. Again, surprisingly. Look how creamy and beautiful that is. We're going to keep that one. Let's see. This one is unfortunately, this is Notoriously Morbid. I see it separating. Oh, okay. That's bad. Necromancy Cosmetica. This one was just like okay, but I feel like bullet lipsticks are going to last longer. So I think I'm just leaning more towards keeping bullets. This Melt one. That's really pretty. Okay, I think I'm gonna keep all the bullet lipsticks as long as they were good. Which you know it wasn't good. The Spirit Halloween one, that was trash. That's going away. And then I've got to keep. This is the old formulation of the KVD lipstick, and I have to keep it to compare it. Oh, it doesn't smell fantastic. I hope it didn't turn, but I got to compare it to the new formulation, so I am gonna hold on to it. Let's see. This Maybelline Super Ink one was only limited edition. And it's not the best for long-term wear, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay, let's see. Bullet lipsticks. This is Black Moon Cosmetics. It's a little drier than the other ones. I'm going to declutter that one. Okay, let's see. This is from a brand I found on TikTok, actually. So it's one of the newer lipsticks I've purchased. So pigmented. Oh my god, it already smells off. Oh, that smells terrible. Wow, this is such a shame. All right, finishing up the black lipsticks. And actually, I think I missed a nude. Yeah, this is a nude lipstick from MAC. Still smells good. This is in the shade Flesh Pot, which is gross. Just gross sounding, but I am going to keep this. Okay, back to the black lipsticks. So let's see. I think I just have to sniff each one of these because I guess that's the weight they put inside of the lid to make it feel better. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just say this is going to be a loss. Yeah, doesn't smell the best. And the lid just fell apart on me. So this is from Menagerie, I think. Yeah, but that's going. Let's see. Ofra, I know, is old as hell. Oh, yep, that smells terrible. That's going. This one, I believe, is newer. Yeah, that one still smells good. So we will keep this one. I believe that's... No, this is not Coven. This is Coven Cosmetics. I think this was another indie brand that I just tried out recently. Check out my last black lipsticks video. This Coven is from, I believe, Killstar. Still smells good. Excellent, excellent. We're going to keep that one. This Spirit Halloween lipstick was also a joke, so we're going to get rid of that one. This one is another great one. This is Black Cat. I believe this is from Menagerie. Oh, that smells terrible. Unfortunately, bye. All right, the NYX Liquid Suede also smells very off. Wow. I think a majority of this has just gone off in one way or another. This is Give Me Glow. Yep, smells bad. Lime Crime. Nope, smells bad. Beauty Bakery. I really loved Beauty Bakery. Please still be good. Okay, that's a first. It doesn't smell like anything, good or bad. And the sticker just came off the bottom. Okay, can you get back on? Come in. Nope. Get back on there. Okay, it's not gonna want to stay. That is so weird. I'll keep it, but that's weird. All right, next we have Glam Goth Cosmetics. Ooh, still smells good. That actually smells really nice. We're gonna keep that one. Now this Milani one, I don't remember being like, ooh, that's so creamy. I'm gonna eat that. I'm gonna eat my words, and we're gonna keep that. This ColourPop one now, I know this is old. That does not smell good. Yeah, this bullet lipstick I have had for legit probably at least 5 years. So I think that might be the limit when it comes to bullet lipsticks, is once it hits 5 years, it's probably no bueno. All right, last I got these two luxury ones that really just were not amazing. This is Dior. And look, blah, that's goodbye, Dior. And this one's Gucci. Beautiful packaging, shit lipsticks. Wish it was better because I really do like this packaging, but that's gonna go. Wow, so this is the first. I got rid of more than I kept. So these are the ones that I'm keeping. And out of 72 lipsticks, I'm keeping 25. That is incredible. But unfortunately, it's because most of them went bad. So there might be some of those shades that I like enough that I might go ahead and repurchase. But I think moving forward, I'm legitimately only going to be buying like lip stain kind of products. Like these new ones from Rare Beauty that I literally just picked up a week ago. These are more of a stain and it's something I'm actually like looking to reach for other than like black lipstick. So I think this kind of formula, like the YSL, the Rare Beauty, is really what I'm going to be reaching for moving forward and purchasing. And that's the whole point of decluttering, is like to figure out what you're using, learn, and then move forward with better informed buying decisions. It's time for us to move on to makeup brushes. Now, looking at this now, I did not realize I had this many. In my defense, I am trying to test out some makeup brushes, and I did buy a couple of kits lately, and a lot of the brushes I'm not huge fans of, so I will probably be decluttering those, but I do want to keep purchasing makeup brushes and testing them because I feel like that's just one way to level up my makeup game that I have not fully kind of dove into yet. So that's just me trying to justify this, but let's go ahead and actually start decluttering this. We're going to start with the face brushes, and then we'll do eyeshadow brushes next. So let me pull out, I have a bunch of these AOA Studio high def brushes. They're the F1 brushes. My only complaint with this is that I wish they sold it by itself. As far as I'm aware, on the Shop Missy website, you can only buy this in a duo with another brush that I don't like. It's not a great brush for concealer or eyeshadow or whatever, so I end up decluttering that almost immediately when I get this. But I do like having these around because they're lightweight, they're very thick and soft, and they're just really, really good face brushes. And to be frank, I do not wash my brushes as often as I should, so I've gotten into the habit of having like a few of these. And so I can just keep using these. And then once they get too dirty, I can put it to the side and wash it later so that I have more time between when I have to wash them. So I have these. I know I've got like 1 or 2 more, but I really do like these. They're only $1 and they're really good quality. And I like that I don't have to wash my brushes as often since I have more of these. So I am going to keep these. Let's find more kabuki brushes. Where are these kabuki? Nope. Here's another one. There's another one. So total, I have 6 of these. Speaking of kabuki brushes, let me just go ahead and like grab the rest of the kabuki like foundation-y brushes I have. We could do those all at the same time. Okay, so I have 4 of these brushes. 2 of these are from a set I bought from Moda Pro, and I love the quality of these Moda brushes. They've got a really nice handle, very sturdy feeling, and the brushes are super soft. And these, I actually do like these. So I'm gonna keep these, and let's see. So one is the BMX 180 Buffer, and this one is the BMX 141 Blend. And I do use both of these just for foundation. All right, next I have 2 brushes from Sigma. Now this was part of the Sigma and Taylor Wynn brush collection, which it did like feel significantly higher quality than the rest of like the normal Sigma brushes. They look similar, but like I can feel a difference in the bristles and in the quality of like the handle. So that kind of surprised me. The kit was these 3 brushes. It's like an under eye kind of powder brush. The concealer brush, I actually love this concealer brush. It's a really good brush. This is one of the only brushes I can use for concealer where I don't have to go back and tap out my concealer with a sponge. I can just use this and it actually looks great. So I will keep all of these. And you know what? I'm going to declutter the Sigma one because it's, honestly, the $1 Shop Miss A brush does everything that this does, and those are easier to clean. These are easier to clean. They feel a little bit better. And honestly, I just don't think this, like the normal line of Sigma, there might be 1 or 2 brushes that I like, but I don't think they're really that worth it. Surprisingly, because I used to love the Sigma brushes, but I think as I've expanded, as I've tried more brushes, I've just found better options for me. So I'm surprising myself here. I'm going to declutter this one. All right, let's do primer brushes next. I have this one from AOA Studio. It's just a flat paddle brush. I like using it for primer. This is from a Real Technique set that I just purchased. This is the 250 brush, and it is the Perfecting Primer brush. I also like using this for primer. And then I have 2 of the e.l.f. Putty Primer applicators, and I have to say, one is like slightly smaller than the other one. I don't know if you can see the paddle right there. It's a little bit smaller, but I love these. I normally hate double-sided brushes, but I love the idea of like a paddle on one end, like something that's not a bristle on this end, so I could still stick it upright somewhere, but it has a use. And what you're supposed to do is use the end of this to kind of scoop out your primer. And to me, that's just like ingenious, because the one issue I've had with putty primers, even though I love them, they've been like my favorite type of primer for like the last couple of years. The problem was the applicator. So I know the e.l.f. ones come with, I believe, an applicator. The Tatcha one has a beautiful little applicator, but over time it breaks down, even the Tatcha one. So this to me is just, I was just gobsmacked at how great of an idea this was. And honestly, e.l.f. has been knocking it out of the park lately with like their releases, their products, their dupes. So I am going to keep both of these too. Okay, I'm going to try and group the rest of these by brush type. We'll see how far that gets us. Okay, so I've grouped these. These are kind of like contoury-ish kind of brushes. So I got like my NARS Ita brush, which even though this was expensive and I kind of regret buying it, I still use it all the time and it hasn't degraded at all. So I gotta say, I do really like this. So I'm gonna keep this. Now this brush I got in PR through Influencer and House Labs. This is their foundation brush that, you know, obviously coincides with the House Labs foundation. Foundation worked terribly on my skin, and I did not like this brush. As you can see, it's like really hard to clean, and I've cleaned this several times. Oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but before this video, yesterday, I actually went and I cleaned all my brushes. So all the brushes you're going to be seeing are beautifully sparkly clean, and I am very proud of myself. I don't think I've ever done that. Like, I've had most of them clean, but I'm pretty sure there's been at least 1 or 2 brushes that are dirty in almost every declutter that I've done. But this is the first time they are all sparkling clean. But that being said, this is stained, and this is such a pain in the butt to clean. It doesn't even apply makeup nicely. I tried this with the House Labs foundation, with a few other foundations, and it always made my makeup look super streaky, which is not what I want from a brush, especially when a $1 brush can do better, right? So this is getting decluttered. And then here, I like the idea of these contour brushes, but they're just so like chunky. Like, let me grab the NARS Ita brush real quick. So you see how thin, let me scoop these. So you see how thin the NARS Ita brush is and how thick these ones are? That's why I like this one for contour so much. Because if I want to widen it, I can. But like, I feel like this is just too chunky for a contour. And then this one I feel like is just too similar to the Sigma one for me to keep. And I do like that one better. So I'm going to declutter this one, this one. Now, this one, I just not quite sure what to do with it. Again, it's a little too thick, I think, for contour. It doesn't really blend out all too much. These ones are just kind of strange to me. So I think I'm going to declutter these. All right, these are all blush brushes. And again, these are cleaned. So these are like stained, actually, just kind of my favorite blush colors. I love this Real Techniques brush and the number has been rubbed off. So I have no idea what brush it is, but I want to buy it, another one, because it's like literally the best brush for blush that I've used. And I love it. The only thing is this only works on powder blushes. It does not really work on cream or liquid blushes, which is what these are for. So this has been kind of my go-to for liquid blush recently, but I've noticed it's started to deteriorate. And this brush is so old. I think this is from Crown or something similar. I'm pretty sure I got this in a subscription box years ago. And it's not working as good as it used to. So I think I'm going to keep this one from Moda Pro. This is the Angle Blush. And it's just soft. It's got the same shape that I like out of this one. So I'm going to keep this one and I'm going to declutter this one. And then I'm really on the fence about this one. This is a Luxie brush. It's supposed to be Precision Foundation, but I liked it more for blush. But again, I don't know. I'm not reaching for it as often as I am the other brushes. And it's my only Luxie, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm going to declutter this one too. I don't really need it. All right, so these are all of my face powder brushes. It's a bit excessive. Yes, yes we are. I can go ahead and pick out this one. This was a free gift with purchase from Moda, and I tried it, and I don't like this at all, so that can get decluttered. These ones from Moda, I have to say, I do not like, this one I might. These ones where it's just like this weird, like ovally, like flat, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe this kind of like fan shape. Does nothing for me when I go to powder. When I powder, I like to have something like this where there's at least like a flat side or something that could be a flat side. Like with the Mr. Right brush from Too Faced, you can do this and you can see. But like here with the dome up top, am I supposed to do this? Or am I supposed to like do this? It never applies. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. But these never apply powder nicely on me, no matter how many times I try. And this one's called flat powder, but like, I don't know. Like looking at these two shapes, I 100% prefer like something like this. So these are going to get decluttered. I do want to hold on to this one because this one's got a promising shape. Like you see, compared to this one, it's very promising. So I'm going to hold on to this one from Moda. And now I've got these. See, this is the only other Sigma brush that I actually really like, and it's the F10 brush. And I just love this for brushing away a bake from under my eyes. It's very basic, but it does the job, and I like it. So keeping this one. This AOA Studio one I got like kind of as a backup for the Sigma one, and it works pretty good. So I will keep those two. This one I'm going to get rid of. So this is from AOA Studio. I originally got this because I thought it'd make a nice blush brush, and it didn't. So I tried using it for powder. Also didn't work. So I just don't have a use for it. So I'm going to declutter this one. So like I said, my two favorite kind of brushes for powder have been the Real Techniques 201 brush. It's just so nice and big and fluffy, and it just applies powder so nice and evenly. And then the Too Faced Mr. Right. Everything is basically rubbed off. I lost the bow a long time ago, but this is such a great brush, and this has lasted years. I bought this at least 4 years ago, and I've washed it hundreds of times, and it's just so nice. You know, if anything, I don't think they sell this anymore, but if I could find like someone selling this on Poshmark, I'll probably pick up another one. All right, so now these two. This was also part of that Real Techniques kit that I just bought. This is the Ultimate Powder Brush. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of this. I don't know if it's about the shape or like the duo fibery kind of bristles. It doesn't really apply powder that great as opposed to something like this. You see the shape of this Wet n Wild brush where this works really well for me. So I'm going to hold on to this Wet n Wild. I'm debating whether to give this one more of a chance before I declutter it. I think I'll do that. I will keep it, but it'll be like in a decision or chopping block kind of scenario, and we'll have to see how I feel about it. All right, moving on to highlighters. Now these I have struggled with the most because I used to love the ABH highlighter brush with that shape. I'll throw a picture in right here. But it fell apart on me and I do not want to repurchase from ABH ever. I mean, I don't want to support someone who's pro-Putin. So I've been on the lookout and on the hunt for a good similar highlighter brush, and I have not been able to find one. It sucks. So I've been trying to test out these. So like this fan brush from Real Techniques is adorable, first of all. Second of all, I love it for highlighting my Cupid's bow and my nose. So I will keep this one, but these have mostly been fails. The one that's worked the best for me so far has been this Radiance BMX 220 brush from Moda, and it's just okay. Like it gives me a passable highlight, but it's not like the oomph that I'm looking for. And then these two were just like total fails. This one kept, no matter how many ways I used it, no matter how many foundations, concealers, whatever I was using it with, it would pick up my foundation and it would not lay down highlight. So this one's going to get decluttered. And then this one was another free gift with purchase, and I tried it out and it's just so... it's too swishy. It doesn't do anything. So I'm also going to declutter that one. All right, next, this is actually like, I think my only bronzer brush, and it's just literally the perfect size and shape for my face. I love this thing. This is from Wet n Wild, and it's from, I think, a holiday collection a couple years ago, but it's just like a really good brush. All right, and last but not least, I believe we have all of my little, oh, there's a little stray hair, duo fiber brushes. I love these for blending out my powder highlight, my powder blush, my powder everything, basically. So looking here, I know we can trim this a little bit. This one I'm pretty sick of. It's from Sigma. It's old and it's starting to like fray and it's not working as good as it used to. So I'm going to declutter this one. This one I actually love. This is newer from Sigma. This is the F15 Duo Fiber Powder Blush, and this just works so well at blending out, and it cleans nicely, and it's worked pretty well for me so far. So this one's gonna stay. These are also from that Real Techniques kit that I just purchased. This one this is technically concealer. I've used this for primer, I've used this for concealer, and I've used this to kind of, when I mix a foundation on the back of my hand, to kind of apply it to my face before I blend it out. And I like this one. It's a unique little brush, so I'm gonna keep this one. Now I have these. This Looksy brush just works so well. And I've had it forever. So I'm gonna keep that one. And I'm on the fence about this e.l.f. one because this is supposed to be a putty blush brush. I tried it with putty blush and it like always picks up my foundation. So I think this one is just too stiff, which is why it keeps picking up my foundation. So I'm gonna declutter this one. And then this one, I tried using it for foundation, and the way the duo fiber is set up in here, it just leaves weird streaks. But I want to give this another chance. I want to see how this works with blending out my powders, because I have not tried that yet. So I am going to hold on to this one. So out of 43 face brushes, it's kind of incredible for me to say that, we decluttered 15. Next, we've got eyeshadow brushes. So all my eyeshadow brushes are here and here. But I want to go through these first because these are the ones I keep in my everyday kind of makeup area, and I don't think I'm getting rid of any of these, so I just kind of want to show you these first. First, we have from Alter Ego. I got this in PR forever ago, but it's just like a big powder brush. Let me make some space here in the middle so you can see it. It's just this big powder brush that just works amazing at putting down eye primer or an all-over base kind of shade. It's just like such a workhorse kind of product, so I'm definitely keeping this, but unfortunately it doesn't have like a name on it, so I hope it's still available. All right, we got some paddle brushes. These are the concealer / paddle brushes that I have. I have two from MAC. They're the 242S brushes from MAC. And then I have the BMX 225 conceal brush. And I gotta say, I love the Moda Pro eyeshadow brushes. They are just such high quality and they're amazing. So definitely keeping all of these. I like having these on hands for concealer, for eye primer, for glitter glue, and it's helpful to have a couple of them. I have two of these flat liner brushes for shadow, specifically on the lower lash line. This one from AOA Studio is just really nice. It's nice and thin. You can see right up there on the top. And it's just like the perfect size for getting shadow all down there. But this one, this new one I got from this Real Techniques set, it's the flat liner brush. And this is so teeny tiny. And it's so perfect for getting just like such a precise, small application of like intense color. It works so well, and I'm surprised at how much I like it. So definitely keeping both of these. This is just a MAC spoolie brush. Honestly, there's nothing really special about it. I just like to keep a spoolie on hand to run through my brows because my brows can sometimes get a little bushy. Now this one I am going to get rid of. This is the Zoeva Spot Liner, but like I basically use the Zoeva brush the same way I now use this one from Real Techniques. So this one I don't use as often, so I'm going to declutter. Next, I have this inner corner highlight brush from Sigma, and it's just such a great brush. I use it every day. It's just like the perfect shape and like texture and firmness, just for adding like a perfect little highlight on the inner corner. And I struggled with that a lot when I was younger, so I really appreciate this, and I'm definitely keeping it. This is the best angled brush I have found for my brows, and it's from KVD Beauty. It's the 70 brush, and it's just so precise. So thin, and I love the aesthetics of this all black brush. Come on, I just can't get enough of this. Definitely keeping. Next, this is a set from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and they're really good quality brushes. They look very aesthetically pleasing. They're fantastic. I use these all the time, so definitely keeping these. Alrighty, and last but not least for this section, we have the blending brushes, which are mainly just MAC 217s. These three right here are all MAC 217s, and they are the brush that gets better with age. I used to have just this amount of the Sigma dupe. I think it's the E25 from Sigma, and over time, those got worse, and over time, the MACs got better. I don't know what it is in the quality of the bristles, but I like this more. So that's why I actually went out and I purchased more of the 217 and the 217S instead of getting another Sigma or another brush. So I use all three of these, love them. And then here we kind of have the AOA Studio Shop Missy kind of dupe. It is the E129, and it works okay. I do like it. It's usable. It's just not as good as the MAC in my opinion. And we have these two kind of leftovers. This is from Moda Pro, and it's kind of sort of a MAC 217-ish, except smaller. I actually really like the shape of this because it helps me blend on my outer V, especially on my small kind of hooded eyes. It really gets in there and it blends precisely. So I like this one. And then this one's just a little blending brush. This is the, oh no, it's actually a shading brush from the Real Techniques set that I got. And I'm not a huge fan of this one because I kind of prefer my shading brushes to either be really small or like huge, as you can see. So I haven't been getting a whole lot of use out of this. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one because there's another one from that same set we're about to see that's bigger. And I prefer this one. So I am going to keep that one and I'm going to get rid of this one. Here we go. And actually, I lied. This used to be technically a concealer brush, and I got my fiance to cut it down to this size and sand the bottom so I could turn it into a lip brush specifically for my Franken lip product. And I really like the brush. It's like a perfect little lip balm brush, so I am going to keep this. All right, here we go. I think I can go ahead and get rid of every other angled liner because I was on the hunt for an angled liner that would work really well in my brows, and I found it in that KVD brush. So like all these other ones, I've got this one from Zoeva, I've got this one from MAC, I've got this one from ABH. Definitely want to get rid of that one. And I thought there was another one. I think that's it. So all of these I'm going to declutter. This one from the Real Techniques set is just a little too, I don't know. The shape doesn't work well with my eye. I have really small hooded lids, so I don't have a whole lot of crease space to really use a big fluffy brush like this. So I'm going to declutter this one. This one is from the Moda Pro set, and it's supposed to be for your lashes, but I'm not gonna use this. So this can go. Oh, here's the other angled liner brush from, this is from also the Moda Pro set, but I don't need any other angled liners, so that can go. This looks like it's right. Oh yeah, this one unfortunately is like coming apart on one side. So this is from AOA Studio. I believe this is one of their concealer brushes, so this is gonna get decluttered. Oh, here's a Sigma E25. They're just back here. Yeah, see, I don't use these anymore. These can both get decluttered. All right, I think technically these are highlighter brushes. Yeah, from the BMX or Moda Pro line. And they're just too small and dense for highlighter on me. They kept picking up my foundation. So I put them in here to use them as eyeshadow. I have not tried them as eyeshadow yet. So I do want to give them a fair chance before I declutter them for good. Let's grab all of our pencils. We got pencil here, we got pencil there. This is a chunky pencil. Okay, so space in the middle. Chunkies. These are our pencils. I don't really use these. Yeah, because for my under eyes, I really do prefer something like this that I can then blend out. I actually like to use this one from Blend Bunny to blend out my lower lash line. So I don't really use the rest of these. So these can get decluttered. I've got one from Zoeva. We've got the Moda Pro. I've got this one from Sigma, I believe. Yeah, that thing must be old as sin. Because I bought this Sigma set, this blue set, I think when I first got into makeup. So that we're looking at 7 years on that one. And then this another Zoeva. So those can all get decluttered. Okay, what do we have next? So this is just a like paddle brush from Cleona Cosmetics. And I have plenty of these. I don't need really that many, so I'm going to declutter this one. This is another AOA Studio brush. This is really similar to this black one that I have, but this one's pink. And you know, I don't really need that many of the same brush. So I'm going to declutter that one. And this one, actually, I love this one. It's surprising how nicely this works. I decluttered the big, let me see. I decluttered this one because you see how big it is compared to this one? So this one doesn't really fit in like my crease or my faux crease, but this one does, and it actually works pretty well on certain shadow formulas, so I will keep this one. Okay, next we have this Alter Ego one. I think this one's too big for my eye shape. I've been trying to make it work for a while, and it just isn't, so we're going to declutter that one. Okay, this chonky pencil. I haven't really honestly given this a full testing yet, so I want to hold on to it until I can really test it. This really old BH Cosmetics brush. Again, I feel like it's too big for me. So I'm going to declutter this one. And we've got these Moda Pro brushes. Now, I really like these two, the blending ones. You got a crease. Yeah, they're both crease brushes. I think it's the same brush, actually. So I'm going to keep those two. This one is kind of like angled, yeah, precision angle. I don't really use that for eyeshadow, and I don't really need it. So this one's going to get decluttered. And then this one is a smudge. I feel like I could use that one. These are both kind of like shaders slash smudgers. And I could use those. And I really like the shape and size of these. So I'm going to keep those. So out of 49 eyeshadow brushes, we decluttered 21. All right, and here we are at the very end of this declutter. I always save the eyeshadow palettes for last. Now, I know there was no feasible way of getting all of my palettes into one shot. I'm pretty sure I have over 100 palettes. So we are going to have to do this in chunks. And I really want to be, I don't want to say strict, because honestly, eyeshadow is my favorite makeup type. So I don't think I would ever become a minimalist when it comes to eyeshadows. But I know that there are palettes that I'm keeping on, like holding on to that I don't need to be. Like either they were given as a gift, or I spent too much money on them and I don't like them and they're just like sitting in spite on my shelf. But I really want to cut this down a little bit and only keep the ones that truly, truly bring me joy. So let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with the ones I know I am probably, let's just go ahead and say it, I'm not getting rid of any of these. My Natasha Denona collection, I have so many of her palettes. I really enjoy them. So we have the My Dream palette. We'll go through the middies first. It's actually a really pretty color story. We have the Retro palette. I'm gonna move these out of the way. Also really pretty. I did not clean any of these before this started, so you might see some messy eyeshadow palettes, but that just means I use them. We have the Sunrise palette. Very, very pretty. We have the Pastel palette. All right, next we have the Metropolis palette, which I believe is my favorite Natasha palette ever. It's just my perfect little grungy rainbow. Love this thing to bits. Getting into her bigger palettes, we have the Gold palette, and this I missed on the first release, but then I jumped on it when it was re-released a few months ago, and I've clearly dug into this. It's such a good palette. Then we have the Circo Loco palette. I believe this is her first foray into like a full color palette, and I do like this. Next we have the Triochrome palette. This was actually a gift from my fiance. He was so nice to get this for me. Then we have the one that started it all, the Sunset palette. Look at this. This one is just so sentimental to me, and I almost panned it, but I decided to pan my least favorite Natasha palette, which is the Lila palette. I did that back in 2021, and I look at this palette and I just think of really happy memories, so I'm gonna keep it. And then the one I do regret buying, but I am getting my use out of, this is the Big Green Brown palette. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely not buy this again. All right, another straight off the bat. Oh, I'm missing one. Let me find the other Lorac Pro palette. All right, so these are the 3 Lorac Pro palettes. I love them. They're great quality. They're the best. Unfortunately, I believe they are now discontinued, so they will absolutely not be going anywhere. This is the original Lorac Pro 1. This is the Lorac Pro 2. And this is the Lorac Pro 3. All right, let's jump into Lime Crime. I've got 2 Lime Crime palettes. One I purchased after wanting for a long time, and this one was a gift from a friend of mine, but I have to admit, I don't reach for like these pinky tones all that often. So I am going to declutter the Venus 3, and I'm going to keep the Venus XL2, because this one I actually really wanted for like years, seeing this color story, and then I finally went and I bought it for myself a few weeks ago, and I've really been enjoying it, so I am going to keep that one. All right, next I have this Carroty Smoke palette. This was also a gift from a friend of mine, but I don't reach for it that often, so I'm going to declutter this one. Now this is the Sephora Pro palettes. I have to look to see if they still sell these, because this is an amazing palette. This is also a gift from a friend of mine, and it's just gorgeous. This thing is gorgeous, and it is sturdy. I love the packaging. There's a giant mirror on this thing, and the shades are beautiful. They're pigmented, they're buttery, and I kind of regret not picking these up when they were available. So I need to check to see whether or not they're still available, but I really do like this one. All right, I've got 3 Ace Beauté palettes. Let's see. We have the Oceanic, really pretty green blues. I'm trying to think, like looking through the rest of my collection, if I have these shades in other palettes. We have the Grandiose palette, which are like some pinkies. And then, oh, this one. This is a gift from a friend of mine. Beautiful. This one is like fall on a palette, keeping this one. But looking at these 2, you know, this is going to be on the chopping block, the Oceanic. I'm going to declutter the Grandiose. And I want to see if I have like similar blues and greens in my collection. So that'll go off to the side for a little bit. These I adore, and I'm keeping all of them. This is the BH Cosmetics Crystal Zodiac palette. This is the BH Cosmetics Zodiac Love Signs palette. These are like some of the best, if no, that's a lie. These are the best baked eyeshadow formula I have ever tried. They are incredible. And this is the original Zodiac palette. Man, it's just so pretty. I love the way this is laid out. It is a little big. Maybe it could have been a little smaller, but I'm not putting it against these palettes because they're so good. Not to blind you, but next we have this palette from Milani. This is the Bold Obsessions palette, and this is just such a great neutral palette. It's got good textures. It's got lovely color stories that run down vertically. I love this palette. All right, let's go through my Kylie palettes. Let's see. This is like my favorite peach palette. This is the Peach Extended palette, and I love this to bits, so we're definitely keeping this one. Now, I want to be strict on these. I have to say, I do pull out this palette a lot. I do use these shades. They are like such pretty pastels, but I also have this Sugar Pill. Okay, they're a little different. They are. So I think I'm going to keep this one. And then this is the Halloween palette. It is a very unique palette. And then this is the original Blue Honey palette. Okay, I'm going to keep them. I mean, it looks like a basic palette, but this is actually really beautiful. And if you look back at the very beginning of my channel, this is one of the first tutorials I think I ever posted was with this palette. And yeah, I got to keep them. All right. I thought I was going to get rid of them, but I'm not. I showed the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette. I do love this. I'm going to keep it. And I do want to pick up the Fun Size 2 palette. I hope it's still available. So I will get that. Ute ColourPop time. Let's see. Are these all my ColourPop palettes? I think so. Yes. Okay. The Child palette. I love this color story, I gotta say. Okay, we've got, let me open these up. And then we've got the Sailor Moon palette, which I purely got because I love Sailor Moon and nostalgia. And then I've got the Good Sport palette, which is one of my favorite palettes of all time, is the Good Sport. I'm trying to think, will I use these? I have to be honest with myself. I will use this. I will use the Child palette. I'm not using the Sailor Moon. I totally got sucked into the I love Sailor Moon and I don't have anything like merchy about it. And I got this palette and I'm not using it. I'm going to declutter it. These palettes I'm going to keep. I have 2 from the Butte Bean and Shroud collection. I have the It's Freakin' Bats palette, which is just so unique. Love this palette. And then I have Halloween. How pretty is that? That is gorgeous. I love those greens especially. And then I have Lethal is Dead from Lethal Cosmetics. Very pretty. Very pretty. Okay, we're gonna keep those. This is from an indie brand, Necromancy Cosmetica, based out of Puerto Rico, and this is the Gothic Romance palette, and it is gorgeous. Like it folds up like a book. The shades themselves are gorgeous. I love everything about this, and it's even got like a little mirror on the side. I have to keep it. Okay, now I want to be harsh over here. We have some ABH palettes. So we've got, oh, ew, these are all dirty, and they're getting my thing all dirty. We have Sultry. We have Norvina. I'm going to declutter Norvina. And honestly, I think I'm probably going to sell these on Poshmark. We have Soft Glam. I could probably get rid of Soft Glam. Sultry. You know, I kind of want to keep one. And then, you know what? There's a possibility I might pan one of these. So looking at these, which one would I rather pan? I would go with Soft Glam. Okay, I'm going to keep Soft Glam just for the petty part of me that wants to pan another ABH palette, to be honest. So I will keep that one. I'm going to declutter Sultry. And then we have Retro Love here, which was a dupe for the Subculture palette, and I don't think I need to keep this. So I'm also going to get rid of this one. Alrighty, next we have my Lunatic Cosmetic Labs palettes. This is the Descendant palette, which is a neutral palette, which is gorgeous. But do I use it? I don't use this. It's mainly for the aesthetic. Like, look at this. It's got a bat. I don't need this. Okay, I'm gonna declutter it. It's silly of me to keep things like that. Elvira, that's actually a really pretty palette that I do use. Vampira, beautiful. Now this one, see, they're pinky shades. Honestly, I did get this. I fell for the packaging on this one because look how gorgeous that packaging is. Look at it. But I don't use it. Okay, I need to declutter this one. And then the Heart palette, this one, I think I did buy this purely for packaging, but I think I have to keep this one because look, it's a mirror. Yeah, I'm gonna keep these. Okay, let's go for some random palettes. We have the Elf and Chipotle palette that I surprisingly love. These shadows are great. I love the packaging. I love the whole idea behind this. So keeping this one. We have the Give Me Glow Juicy Olive palette, which is really all the greens I would ever need. So you know what? Let's take a look at this Ace Beauté. This has one more brighter green, but I could totally like use these instead of the other greens. So we're basically halfway there, and I don't really use the blues in there anymore. So that Oceanic I think is getting decluttered. We have my two Kat Von D palettes, the old KVD. This is, I don't even know what this one is called. The Vegan Love eyeshadow palette. This one I think I'm going to declutter because these colors I'm not really reaching for, as opposed to Interstellar. Well, first off, this packaging is stunning, and these are shades I'm much more drawn to. So I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to declutter the Vegan Love. Now we have a palette from Zoeva, and I don't think I've touched this more than like once or twice. And these are very neutral shades, so I'm going to declutter this one. We have Sound Cosmetics. I do like that color story. I like those oranges. I don't have a whole lot of oranges in my collection, but this one's very like neutrally. I'm going to declutter this one. I don't have the name of this one, but I'm going to declutter this one. And I'm going to keep this one. I love that this is like a more unique kind of color story over here. And this one's called the Passion eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to declutter this the Oceanic palette from Ace Beauté. Next, I have two Pure palettes, and I do love both of these, even though they are pretty neutral. This is the Soiree Diaries. I hope I got that right. Love this. Again, another neutral, vertical kind of organized palette, but I love these. They're blendable. They're buttery. They're pigmented. They're so soft. I love this palette. And then the Pure Defense palette. This one, surprisingly, it's a little shiny. But again, another vertically kind of organized palette, and these shades are just so gorgeous. Love it. This one I bought because it was Corpse Bride, and I used to have the whole collection, and I was left with just this palette. And I think, looking at it now, these are all the blues and pinks I would ever need. So I'm glad I got rid of the Oceanic palette, and I think I will hold on to this one. All right, next I have I'm going to butcher this, Jean-Michel Basquiat I should have Googled how to pronounce that. But this is a gift from a friend, and I do love this palette. I love the packaging, I love the shades, I love everything. This is like old school Urban Decay at its finest. Definitely keeping this one. These are my only Viseart shades. This is the Warm Matte palette. I kind of want to keep these on hand just so I can compare them to some other formulas. So I think I'm going to hold on. Okay, I am going to declutter this Divina palette. It's technically a collection of singles, but I don't really reach for these as much anymore, especially because I've like significantly cut down my single shadow collection. So I think I'm going to like declutter the individual shades and like keep this little palette, because this would be nice to use for like smaller kind of everyday makeup drawer kind of things to use up my individual pans of other stuff. So did I buy this just because I'm Puerto Rican? Maybe. Is it really pretty? Yes. I'm gonna keep it. Okay, we're almost done with the big palettes. So let's bring in Urban Decay. I should have done these with the other Urban Decay palette, but here we go. We got 2 Urban Decay palettes. I have the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, which this looks new because it is. I used to have this palette, and I hit pan in several shades, and I loved it, and then I loaned it to my grandmother, and then I never saw it again. So I missed it so much, I had to go out and rebuy it. So I did, and here it is. I do love this. It's just so good. So I've got this one. And then this, I just recently purchased. This is the Urban Decay Robin Eisenberg palette. And it was the first Urban Decay palette I was excited for in years. So I had to jump on it. I even still have the brush in here. Honestly, I could probably declutter the brush. I never keep the brushes from these Naked palettes. But this palette is gorgeous. So definitely keeping this. Like, look at this packaging. How the hell could you... Like, Urban Decay needs to go back to this and go back to this. You know, I don't know what they're doing now with, like, Naked Cyber and all this other shitty stuff. All right, I'm about to blow my own mind, and I'm gonna declutter a Pat McGrath palette. I think Pat McGrath shadows are so overhyped. I bought a bunch of her like little mini holiday palettes, and they were not great, and then I was just like, okay, well maybe it's a holiday palette, maybe she's like Too Faced, and like their holiday stuff is lower quality. So I picked up this palette, and I don't know, it's just the shadows. They don't really work that well. At least like for Natasha Denona, they're expensive, but I could see the quality of the shadows, and I do enjoy using that formula. Here, the formula, it's just chunky. Like this shade is super chunky. It got into my eye once, and it hurt like a mother. The mattes, like they blend, but they're not wowing me. You know, it's not what I think I should be getting for over $120, right? So I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to sell this because I think this packaging was limited edition for this palette. This is the Divine Rose 2 palette, and I think this packaging was limited edition for it. So I might just clean this up, try to recoup a little bit of my money there. All right, let's talk about melt palettes. So first I have the 27 palette, which is very, very pretty. I do like these kind of fall-y neutrals, so I'm going to keep this one. I have the Muerte palette, which is stunning. Look at this palette. This recently came back like a few months ago. They re-released it on their website for like a limited time only, and I snatched it up. I could not get the other half of the skull. I was so upset when this came out and I had no money. Like I could not buy this collection because I had nothing. And it's literally like calling to me. It's beautiful. So I have this one. If anyone has the other half of the skull and is willing to sell it to me, let me know because I really want it. And then I got this palette. This is the Amore Mariposas palette, and it's that's so beautiful. I could hang this up and just stare at it. It is so gorgeous. It's got greens, it's got the neutrals, it's got the orange, this orange right here. I just can't. Okay. Love these. Oh, and then my last melt palette, Millennial Pinks. Oh my god, I love the silver. Okay, yep, I'm keeping all those melt palettes. This is my only Makeup and Murder product. This is the Crime Scene Trace Evidence eyeshadow palette, and it's just some very basic kind of brights. But I love this brand, and I like supporting small brands, so I definitely want to get the rest of her eyeshadow palettes as well. I thought I had more Tarte eyeshadow palettes. I guess I don't. I only have the Spicy Bitch, which is hilarious. I just love this so much. I love the bright colors, and I love the whole theme behind it. It's hilarious. So keeping that. And then to round this out, we have my Too Faced palettes. So I've got the Chocolate Bonbons, which I hunted down at TJ Maxx a few years ago. It's gorgeous. It's pretty. I then have the Pumpkin Spice palette. which is not nearly pumpkin spicy enough in my opinion. I think the whole palette should have been around that color, but it's still a very pretty palette. And I have to say, I love the palettes in this tin packaging. I think anything else they come out with is kind of trash. And then the original, the Sweet Peach palette, I have Pan in this. I've considered rebuying this, and I might, because that shade's completely gone. I hit Pan here. I don't know. I love this palette so much. And it still smells. I've had this palette for years, and it still smells like peach. It's just so nice. So also keeping that. Okay. These I have pondered over because the brand no longer exists. These were from Midas Cosmetics. And I don't like super showing off products that you can't get anymore, because I know there's a lot of FOMO that could happen with that, but these are just so pretty. And coming from someone who, honestly, I'm about to like talk about how much I don't reach for trios and quads and quints. These are the only ones I really reach for. I love these. I love these to bits. Especially this. I mean, let's look at this. This is what the pumpkin spice palette should have been. I can't get rid of these. You'll pry these from my cold dead fingies. Okay. I can get rid of this one. I haven't really been reaching for this one. This is the Nude Light from Huda Beauty. I got some really pretty looks out of this. I actually, I think the first, no, not the first time. I think the first time I spent New Year's with my fiance's family, I used this to make a look and it came out really pretty. But I'm not reaching for the shades, so I'm gonna clean this up, sell it. These Wet n Wild palettes, I love. These are the Color Icon palettes. I have the shade or the palette in Lights Off. It's really pretty. Wet n Wild has some great shadows. This is in Nude Awakening. Really pretty. And then this one is the Boo Crew, and this was a limited edition like Halloween palette from a couple years ago. Haha. This is the best black I think Wet n Wild has ever come out with. So definitely keeping those three. These are the only two e.l.f. palettes I have, or 10 pan e.l.f. palettes. We do have the Chipotle palette. This is the Mad for Matte 2. Very beautiful, perfect for fall. And then this one is the Nude Rose Gold palette, which, you know what, this is so similar. Let me grab the, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was made as a dupe. Yeah. So I don't think I need both of these. That being said, the e.l.f. is amazing quality. So if you want the same color story for that price point, go ahead and just pick up the e.l.f. Why do I still have this brush? Oh, because it's new. So if you want the color story, go ahead and pick up the e.l.f. one. I just have a soft spot for that Urban Decay palette, so I do keep that one. But honestly, you're getting the same thing. So since I love the Naked 3, I'm going to keep this one, and I will declutter the Nude Rose Gold. Okay, I had this. This is the Violet Voss Holy Grail Fun Size. I do not reach for this. I'm going to declutter. All right, here's where we have to have this discussion. I get a lot of PR from Shop Miss A. I purchase a lot from Shop Miss A, but I have to admit to myself that I do not like reaching for these like itty bitty palettes. I think the smallest palette that I enjoy using is the size of this Wet n Wild. So like something smaller, I don't know. I don't enjoy using palettes that small, and that could be incredibly petty of me. It probably is very petty of me, but because I don't like them, I don't reach for them. And I got all of these either in PR or I purchased specifically to review for the channel. And I just have to come to terms that I don't really review a whole lot of products on my channel anymore. So these, I already reviewed the whole line of these. So I'm going to declutter those because I don't reach for them as often, even though those were actually really good quality, especially the green shades. It's hard to find a good affordable green, but I don't reach for those. Same with these. I don't reach for these itty bitty little quads. I just don't. Now, these are the ones I have not posted a review for on my channel yet. And I'm torn between whether I hold on to them just to make that video. And then maybe if one blows my mind, I'll keep it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below, because I'm torn. I'm thinking of just putting these off to the side for a bit and then giving me like a timeline. Like if I don't make that video within like a month, they go, right? So I'm on the fence. Let me know, please. Last but certainly not least, we have my Natasha Denona mini palettes. And I gotta say, I love the quality of the mini palettes, the mini shadows. They're the same quality as her big palettes, which, you know, sad to say, you don't see a lot from like these luxury brands. They will like cheap out when it comes to the minis, but these I can say are the same quality, the same amazing formula as the bigger ones. And I do like them. They're adorable. They're cute. And this is, again, I think the smallest palette I would enjoy using is around this size. Yeah. So to go to Marie Kondo, these spark joy when I look at these. So I'm going to keep these. So to finish us out of 106 palettes, we decluttered 22, which is way more than I thought I would declutter. So I am very proud of myself. And that is it. That is the full declutter. It's finally done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed so that you'll see when we finally go to reorganize what is left of my collection. Because that's going to be, I think, honestly, probably more fun than this. But I hope you guys enjoyed what I'm sure was a gigantic video. And I can't wait to see you in my next one. Bye.